All right, so I guess the camera's on you, so you should probably introduce yourself.
The camera's on you right now, though.
Is it?
From where I'm sitting.
Oh, it's on you from where I'm sitting.
You just talk. I'm
okay. All right, I'll talk. I'm James. I'm the lead singer of 12 Years Today.
I'm Jason. I'm also in 12 Years Today, and I do a few things as well, like guitar and bass.
Drums.
Yeah. I'm the other half. I'm the other half. Let's just say that. I'm the other half. One of two. I'm Jason.
I was kind of waiting for is he gonna say episode 55? No, it's not happening. That's fine.
Oh, we can do this again.
Oh, are we supposed to say that?
No. I like this.
We can edit it in.
Can I? Okay, so honestly, I was just being a bit goofy. Okay, we can be serious. We can be serious.
I kind of like goofy.
Yeah.
Perfect. Me too. I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah. Whatever.
Right, I think we're good, man. I think we're good. We'll cut Mark saying how he wants episode 55 in there. So then we'll cut that in there. He can say
that's not happening.
So Mark, you're the producer?
Oh, that's a big word.
Oh, okay. Are you the guy who presses record and edits things?
Yeah. That.
Perfect.
Producer.
You like that?
Wow.
I hope you actually put that down like on a resume somewhere. Like if you ever have to do that.
Yeah.
Like producer, the guy who pushes buttons and things.
Yeah.
Not buttons, just the record button.
Just the record button.
Buttons, just one.
Yeah.
Jay's done this before. That's how he knows.
What? Press the record button and then pretend to do other things? Yeah.
Put that on a resume.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Let's not talk about resumes and work and.
Oh man, I was so close to putting in my resume somewhere today.
You didn't?
Well, it sounds like a story.
Not yet.
There is a story here because he was telling me.
Save that for live, or save that for the actual podcast. I have a couple questions for you guys too, so it'll be fun.
Wait.
Well, actually, we're going, man.
I'm the producer,
right
so
now.
I can.
That's a big word.
He pushes the button.
This is what they're gonna get. So we're good.
Oh, okay. Well, can I ask you guys a couple questions before?
100%.
Shoot.
Okay. So the first question is, I lied. It's not a question. Joel's voice does not match his face at all.
Is that in a good way or a bad way?
It's not in any way.
It's just
I looked at this is the first time I've ever looked at you other than your profile picture on Instagram, and your profile picture on Instagram
with the beard.
Yeah, you look like you have a deeper voice and like kind of like aggressive, but you seem really, really chill. And I notice you guys haven't sworn yet, so should we not be swearing?
It's whatever you want, man. I'm
okay.
Whatever,
but do you guys not swear?
So I
never fucking swear. So
oh, jeez, Louise.
What? I don't.
Creepers.
Man,
no,
man.
I definitely swear all the time, and I get in shit for it all the time too. So the last few episodes, I've been trying to like pull it back a little bit.
Who gave you shit?
However,
my dad.
You know what? Hey, you know what?
You don't know me, Dad.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't think so. I was like,
do you live with him?
He just asked me to like try not to swear so much.
Do you live with him?
I do not.
So he watches it.
Well, and that's why, like, out of respect, I'm trying to like.
I respect that. That's cool, man. I will do my best not to swear, and it is quite hard for me, but I'm gonna do my best.
While we're talking about swearing, that's a good opportunity to work in that. I also get that from Jay when it comes to how we write our songs. I've only dropped 2 swears in all of the stuff we've ever written, and it's a bit of a pain in the tuchus at this point, because I don't know, there's so much involved with it when you decide to do it, because our certain radio station is going to play it. You know, you get away with a lot more on indie radio than you do on mainstream, but aside from that, yeah, we try really hard now. Well, it's not hard. It's a
I don't
choice.
try.
No,
I don't try. I don't have to try. I just say, hey,
try. That's
replace
probably
that.
why I'm going to probably swear a lot during this podcast, because
You know what?
I don't get to.
I'm with Joel and Pops, man. I'm not going to swear. I'm going to try not to anyway. And honestly, I'm not saying that in a condescending way. It's a good challenge.
Whatever. I don't care.
I know you didn't. You've already dropped the F-bomb. I know you don't care.
I know. I wanted to get it out of the way.
Well, it's way in the way now.
You definitely beat me to it for sure. What I will say, here's a challenge though. So if any of us swear throughout this, what the challenge will be is to not address it.
Like, don't react to it?
Yeah, like if you say fuck, don't be like, oh, you said fuck. And let's just keep rolling with it.
What am I supposed to say right now though?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not nothing. No. But you know what I mean? That's here's my opinion on this. This is what the problem is. I feel very strongly with this, even with like raising children. It's okay. We all swear, right? Yeah. And it's part of our language. Everybody does it. I feel like it should be normalized, but there's this stigma on it where it's wrong. But how can it be wrong if everyone's doing it? So personally, like with myself and my son, like I'll swear in front of him, but I don't draw. He's 6 now, but I don't draw attention to it. So he knows that it's like probably not the best word to use. He doesn't swear at all, but
that you know of.
Not when
you're no one's ever told me he's swearing behind my back. So I guess I should maybe be careful of how I word this. But I definitely have sworn in front of him. But like I was saying, is that we don't draw attention to it. We're not like, oh, don't ever say that. If he has repeated us, like if he hears us and then he says fuck or something, repeats, we don't address it. It's just like, it's our fault. We said it. He heard it. He said it.
Mark,
so I can't give him shit.
If you address it too, then you're giving it life, right?
Exactly.
If you kind of pretend that it didn't happen, because the more it's a kid thing. The more you address it, the more you make it sound like that's something you shouldn't do. The more the kid's going to be like, and I'm going to do it a lot.
Yeah. Exactly.
So my son is 3, and my go-to swear word is, oh, for fuck's sake. He picked up on that, and every once in a while he's behind me. Oh, fuck's sake.
I'm pretty sure that was the first time my son ever used that in proper context.
Yeah.
we pulled into the Walmart parking lot once. This is years. I think he was 3. Maybe 4, I'm not sure. But he's like, are we going into Walmart? And I'm like, yeah, bud. He goes, oh, for fuck's sakes. And it's like, I didn't know what to say. I didn't know. I wanted to laugh, to be honest with you, because it was just, because he said it in such perfect context. He didn't he didn't just say it like a parrot. He said it like an adult would. And I thought that was the best.
So I have a story like that. My daughter, she's 10 now. When she was
How old are you, dude? Did you have your daughter when you were like 8?
Dude, I'm 41.
You look really good for 41, man.
Oh, thank you very much.
He's Dutch.
Yeah.
That was gonna be one of my questions.
It's the seawater, the sea air, salty air, whatever.
Salty sea air water.
Yeah, that.
Pick up on his accent?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of.
What's funny is I did not pick up on it in that video, like your intro video on YouTube that you sent us. Like, and you did a lot of the talking, and I did not pick up on it whatsoever.
Does that video, does it look scripted? Or does it look like natural?
No, it looks natural. Yeah, it looked natural.
I think it looks scripted.
Do you? Yeah.
It was definitely scripted.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't tell that.
No, it seemed natural because there was a lot of like uhs and stuff like that, like uhs and likes and stuff, things like that. So I mean, like, unless you literally wrote that into the script, brilliant.
No, that part wasn't.
Yeah.
No, I think that the scripted part was just scripted. We basically had like talking points, and then we were kind of just issuing those out. But yeah, we do have to update that. That's like 4 or 5 months old now. Things are a little different.
Well,
right. Well, now we're going live.
Mark has an accent now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Right.
Like, you're not just putting it on now, are you? Is that going to be the big reveal at the end of the podcast? Like, you're going to stop talking. Like, you're going to be Scottish all of a sudden. They're like, surprise. No, that wasn't my attempt at a Scottish accent, but that was a missed opportunity.
Oh, you should have. Yeah.
Don't do it.
No, I would have screwed it up anyway.
You would have.
But yeah, going back though, like that makes sense though, right? Like as long as you don't address, that's the challenge for tonight.
Yeah,
if
I
we're
was
gonna
going to tell my
swear,
story about my 10-year-old.
just
and
go
then I was
walk
young.
through it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. So he's going for fuck's sakes.
No, my daughter, who's 10,
Okay.
we were at a friend's place when she was about 5 or whatever, and she was playing with her friend, and it was his birthday, so he got presents, and she wanted to play with one of the presents, and he was like, "No, it's my birthday. This is my blah blah." And they were playing in the hallway, and we were sitting in the kitchen, no problem. And all of a sudden, from the hallway, we hear "fuck," and my wife and I look at each other like, that was our kid."
How many kids do you have in your house that aren't yours?
2 that aren't mine. Oh,
That aren't.
0.
Good answer.
No, but we were over at a friend's place, and they have kids too. So
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
maybe
at a friend's
you
place.
should pay attention
I probably
Yeah.
should.
when Mark's talking. I don't know.
There was, but there,
you know they have the same kind of vibe going as you
we
and
do?
I. Yeah,
but see, they're in different rooms though,
true.
Yeah, James can't hit me.
No,
right?
I would never.
On
Not
camera.
hard
yeah.
anyway.
No, on camera he would. Not much harder.
You want to
Absolutely.
do it on camera? I mean, you gotta make it look good.
How far away are you from each other right now?
30 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
Depends how fast we feel like driving.
Yeah, it depends what's on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's
I
Bob
saw-
Dylan, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
If it's 12 years today, 15.
Fuck, man, I was listening to you guys
Straight in there.
today. Like I had a great day today listening to you guys.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Like I enjoyed it, man. I'm definitely a fan. You got me for life, man. Ride or die.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
that. Yeah, thank you, man.
Am I wrong that you guys have a new cover coming out like next week?
Nope, you're absolutely right. Should we just get right to plugging that now or what?
I am
before we lose it.
like I honestly, man, I do like zero research.
Mhm.
I say this every episode to our guests. Like my attempt at research is I'll put you guys on YouTube or Spotify and I'll listen to it for the day. Like I'm not looking at
Yeah.
your Wikipedia. I'm not looking at anything else. I'm just listening.
We have a
to it. So-
Wikipedia?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you could do research on us anyway.
Yeah,
Right?
you wouldn't find anything.
Yeah, you
think
wouldn't
the most-
find anything.
The most research you could do is reading our Spotify bio.
Yeah.
Right. See, and I didn't even do that.
Actually, that's not true. You could actually go to a journal of musical things from Alan Cross, and you will find
Yes.
us.
I
on
saw
there,
that this
actually.
afternoon. I
Yeah,
saw
that was
this
a
afternoon. It's,
that was a big moment for me. I am an avid Alan Cross fan. I listen to History of New Music pretty regularly. Like the dude's the whole reason why I even tried Mill Street Lager, for crying out loud. Yeah,
It is delicious.
it is. It absolutely is.
Do you guys drink beer?
do we drink beer?
Yeah.
I do.
So
What do you
you're
drink?
drinking. So you're drinking Pepsi on a Friday night. Why?
Because I don't. So
Because he doesn't.
Hey, you know what? I
I'm
Solidarity.
appreciate that.
it's more like Mark's definitely my best friend, right? And I haven't drank in just over since 2012, January
Wow.
1st, 2012.
Good for
was the
you,
last time I
man.
had a drink or drug or anything, right? So yeah, however long that is, and just because, so I drink a lot of coffee and Pepsi, and that's why, just to make it easier on me. Not that it's hard anymore, like so far into sobriety, it's definitely a lot easier. I can be around booze and stuff, it doesn't bother me anymore.
Yeah, but
but I
that's a
think it's
total
just-
respect thing, though. Like that, you know.
I think so.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Good for
That's
you,
awesome.
man.
Yeah, that's dope.
We've always talked about what are we going to do when we get like the alcohol sponsorship on the show. If the check is big enough, I might have to fall off maybe.
Well, don't forget. Most of the big brands, at least these days, make a near beer anyway. So
Right there,
you
you
got
go.
that Heineken Zero, which
That
I've actually
Heineken
had.
0.0, it's delicious.
It is good. Actually, yeah, you gave me
Fantastic.
my first one of those.
Yeah, it's
They're good.
fantastic.
And who doesn't want to be that? Have you seen that commercial where the buddy gets pulled over in I think it's in a convertible, and the cops like trying to hassle him, and he's showing them it's got zero alcohol.
I did
It's
not.
awesome.
It is a good commercial.
Who doesn't want to be that guy?
Yeah.
I think I've tried to be that guy.
Really?
Oh man, I gotten pulled over lots.
Yeah, but you were actually drunk.
Yeah. So I always wondered about that too. Like, was me being honest? I always told myself this too, which is probably a crock of bull, but I'd be honest with the officers. Like, do you have anything to drink tonight? And I'd be like, yeah. And they're like, well, what'd you drink? I'm like, oh, well, you know, a case of Canadian and like half a 40 or whatever. Right? Like,
Christ.
and that was probably not the best answer to that. But I always feel like if I would have said nothing, I would have got away with it.
It kind of depends on the cop.
I think
Chances
so,
are
too.
you could have gotten a cop who was like, oh yeah, good one. No one would ever drink that much.
Yeah.
On
Yeah.
your way, son.
Right? Like, yeah, I'm like $1.18. Oh, I drank like all this. Yeah, I was definitely a functioning alcoholic for sure.
Which beer did you have to drink? All of the beer.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah. What's the best beer you can drink? The free ones.
The free ones, yeah. That's true.
I didn't like beer in cans.
I love
You do
beer.
or don't?
I liked it in bottles. Had to be a glass bottle.
Yeah.
You since 2012, you said?
Yeah, I legit January 1st. So here's the story. I'll tell you the story.
Yeah.
So
It's not. I get like it's okay to chat about. Like,
oh, I'm totally fine, man.
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
good. I've done
cool,
my
man.
yeah, I've done the program, all that kind of stuff. I feel like I'm good. If I'm feeling hints of relapsing, I call my sponsor. So
That's awesome, man.
but okay, so the the New Year's Eve party of January 1st, 2012. I went to a house party in the city with some friends, and I legit had 2 40s of rye. I couldn't even tell you what kinds of rye they were, but I had 2 different kinds. And I remember having a double out of each 40, and we smoked some pot that night. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done, you guys. Like, I'm done. I was probably because I was so high, but I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm never doing this again. And I had like issues before. I had some DUIs and stuff. Like, I had a legit problem, right? But just, I don't know what it was that night. I was like, I'm fucking done with this shit. You guys can have it. And I gave the booze away, and everyone's like, oh no, you'll like tomorrow you'll be drinking again. And that was basically it. Like I started doing the program. I got help. I got a sponsor, all that kind of stuff. Some friends helped me stay clean and never looked back. There've been some rough days, but yeah, it was like the stroke of midnight of that New Year's Eve party was when I had my last drink. Like when we did, oh, Happy New Year, I was like, I'm done. Like, that's it. Never touched it
Wow.
again. Crazy, right?
Well, congratulations, man. That's really awesome.
Thanks, man.
It's hard to quit anything. I smoked for 25 years probably. I started young. I think I was 12. And I quit with my wife in October 2018. So
Man, how old are you?
He's old, man.
I'm 39.
Oh,
I'm 39. I said it. I don't think I've said that on camera before. I know I don't look like it. Thanks, guys. But anyway.
I didn't want to interrupt you.
And yeah, it was hard. We'd attempted many times before, like I'm sure a lot of people do who smoke or want to quit smoking. And it was literally one of those, like, we're done. We just said the same thing. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. So we didn't. And I don't mean to make it sound like it's that easy either, because, that's how we did it, was cold turkey.
Right.
We tried doing like the vape thing, like just the electronic cigarettes, all that sort of thing. It's not the same. It wasn't doing anything. It just made me want a real cigarette.
Right.
So, I mean, I can appreciate that. I mean, smoking, drinking, no, definitely not the same thing, but vices are vices. Even if it's like food, anything you're used to doing.
Food is the best.
Right? That's my next. That's my vice now is eating.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say sex.
Well, that's always a vice, right?
Yeah, right.
But
I was to be clear. I said food is the best. I didn't say food and
food
sex.
is sex. Food and sex. That's what everyone heard, Jay.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. I actually, when I quit I don't even know how long it's been when I quit smoking cigarettes. It's been a couple of years. I feel like it was 2018 as well.
Nice.
But I actually went, I did vape. So I started with like the 18 milligrams of nicotine and I just kind of tapered off. And I did that it took me 8 months from when I started vaping to when I was done vaping was 8 months. And then I just.
But you see, that worked. That worked for you.
Yeah. Well, and the kicker there too, what helped was I got my wisdom teeth pulled. And you can't like smoke or anything,
right?
For whatever. And then I was like,
Dry
that's
socket.
0 milligrams of juice anyway. So I was like, well, what the hell am I doing? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
So then
that's the funny thing. I know lots of people who quit smoking when they got sick, because a lot of times when you get sick, depending how sick you are, you don't run outside for a cigarette or anything like that. Although I know people who do, but you take advantage of that and just be like, well, it's been 5 days. A week or whatever, and you're like, well, if I went this long, I could probably do another week, and you just go by that. But I find a lot of times I'm glad the vape thing worked for you, but what I find with a lot of people is like you just kind of end up moving from one vice to another. You know what I mean?
100%.
They don't see it as a means to an end; they see it as a crutch, and they use it as such. That rhymed. See why I do this for, anyway.
That's perfect.
But yeah, exactly. It worked for you because you recognized it for what it is.
Speaking of crutches.
Speaking of crutch.
Who's on crutches?
I am.
That's a weird, like full circle thing.
Right?
Speaking
I had
crutches,
a nasty surgery at the beginning of December of like this last year here. And well, it wasn't nasty. It was definitely scheduled, but it's called a femoral derotational osteotomy. Or it's a derotational femoral osteotomy.
That's the first time you mentioned that in front of me without stumbling over the words.
With being able to pronounce them.
Yeah.
I feel like because somebody just asked me about it and I texted it to them. But so what it was my hips were twisted. So like for the last 20 years, I had a lot of knee pain and back pain, right? And tried all kinds of surgeries and stuff and nothing was working. And in the course of that and seeing different specialists and stuff, I found out that my hips were twisted. One was out 17 degrees and the other one was out 21 degrees or 22. And if I didn't do this surgery, I would have needed a hip replacement this year. And I'm only 38. So like the way it is right now, they only like to do like 2 hip replacements and then that's it, you're done. So, right. And they last about 10 years and I'm too young for that. Right. So by doing this, we cut my femur, like a clean cut, and then rotated my femur, like twisted it, and then put a rod in and pinned it in place to put my hip straight to basically prolong a hip replacement is what we did. And man, I'll tell you, like, I would do it again in a heartbeat because my back is like the best it's felt in 20 years. Like all the pressure is off on my back and it's not 100%, but it feels the best it has in so long. Right. So, yeah, I'm still on crutches. I did a second set of x-rays a week ago and the bone is healing slowly, but it is healing. So might be on crutches for another couple of months. But even then, like I said, I would do it again in a heartbeat. I'm just a freaking rat's nest of like
well, the crutches, at least you can get around on the crutches. The back thing's important because the thing that you look forward to, which is like sitting down and relaxing, I mean, you can't do it if your back's on fire, right?
Oh man, tell me about it, frick.
So if your back feels good, who cares about the crutches, right?
Oh yeah, man, I'm doing like 30 squats a day right now is what I'm up to. Yeah, which doesn't sound like much, but I
did 30 squats
with a titanium rod in your leg.
With a titanium rod in my leg. Yeah,
that's what he keeps. Every excuse is now I got a titanium rod in my leg.
Go get me that. I got a titanium rod in my leg.
Use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah. So as I was saying, I don't do much research, and I was listening to you guys today. I was kind of going through YouTube and then kind of snooping on your Instagram a little bit. And I saw something about a cover of a Pink song. Correct me if I'm wrong, please.
No, you're right.
Is that true? Right on. So which song is it exactly?
Wait, Pink?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the pop star Pink.
Okay. Cool.
We've got a cover of Who Knew, which is off our 2006 record. It was a big hit. It's probably both of our favorite song that she ever did. That chick is probably the most metal pop star there is. And I don't say that in the sense of like, I listen to her because of her style of music. Like her style of music is still very different from what we do, but she's just cool, man.
I agree.
Agreed.
Just a really cool person. Doesn't come off like those plastic pop stars or whatever that
Yep.
Really respect what she does, and lucky for us, Jay was able to put together a really cool cover of that musically, and even luckier I was able to sing it.
Sweet.
So
Go
ahead.
In that Alan Cross article, there was
Mhm.
another cover that you guys did.
Oh yeah, we did a cover of 3 Days Grace's Home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It tanked.
Did it?
Well, we released that just before our single Dead of Sin, which is essentially the song that we're promoting right now. But we weren't that active on social media. We were on the Instagram, but we didn't do a lot on it. We weren't on Twitter. Once we released Dead of Sin, we started promoting a lot. So the 3 Days Grace cover kind of just didn't get promoted very much.
Right.
And it's funny because, I'm sure it would have been a little different had we been able to promote it, but at the same time, there's a lot of people out there that if they listen to hard rock, like depending on the age of them, they don't even necessarily know that there was a previous singer to Matt Walsh, who's the present lead singer. Like Adam Gauthier, that was 3 Days Grace for us. That's what that's what we kind of got used to. Matt Walsh is a great artist and whatnot. It's a totally different band to me at this point, which is a reason why we went with that song in the first place. We needed something from that era.
I think another contributing factor to it not really gaining any momentum is we literally just copied it. We didn't make it our own. It was we wanted, I don't even know what we wanted. We just wanted to do it, and we did it, and we said whatever, we'll just release it. But this song we did, this cover song of the Pink song, we really made it into something that's our own. And I think it kind of, you can hear that it's us through that song. But yeah, that's my opinion on our cover of Home.
Yeah.
And the pink one, is that released yet or not yet?
No, next week.
Next week? Okay.
Yeah, next Friday. Week from today, it'll be available. And like Jay said, we did it properly this time. We made it our own. The Home cover, like, we're proud of it. I think we did a good job. Just like you said, it's just we didn't really do much to it.
It's just a 1-to-1, right? Like it's not.
It's very subtle differences that we do, and subtle.
And that's because I couldn't figure a certain part out, so I just did something else.
Yeah, which still ended up sounding really cool. But it's definitely. Of course, I'm going to say it because we did it, but it's definitely worth a listen. I'm proud of it. It was our first cover. We wanted to do a cover, so that's exactly what we did. We're proud that we chose a Canadian band on top of that. Kind of fitting, right, for our first cover. And yeah, now we've moved on, and we decided to tackle something a little more difficult, and that's taking a pop song and turning it into something else, something heavier. And I think we accomplished that, and I think people are really gonna dig it.
When you're doing a cover like that, do you have to let's talk about the Pink one. Do you have to get permission from her to be able to record that and do that, or what's
Yeah, it's not from her directly. There's a like a partnering company to our distributor that you can request. You have to put a request in to get the copyright info that you want to include when you release it through the distributor. You have to essentially pay. This is how we do it anyway. Like, I'm not saying this is the only way to do it.
Right.
But you're essentially paying for your streams and your digital downloads up front, right? So you're essentially paying the royalties before you make anything on that song, right?
Interesting.
I mean, for all I give a shit, you just, you know, take it all. Like we're not doing it because we want to make any money off it.
Right.
Like, that's, you know, even if we wanted to, we're in the wrong business.
So, but do you say you kind of purchase the streams in advance? Is there a certain number of streams that you pay in advance, or how does
you can choose. You can choose.
Okay.
Yeah. You just enter in, like, I think I put in 2,000 streams or something.
What happens if you go over?
Then you just buy more.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It's just it's everything building up to releasing it. Is that it's a pain in the butt, but once it's released, it literally is as simple as going into that licensing company saying, I want another 2,000, or
it's kind of a catch-22 because you don't want to pay more money, but at the same time, if we have to pay more money, that means it's doing well.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if we get 2,000 streams, if we buy more, we will have made a bit from the first 2,000 that can go on to the next 2,000. But
that roll into it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
if that means people are getting to know you and listen to your other stuff, then
yeah, exactly. It's kind of an investment if you want to call it that. I mean, I personally don't think you'll ever get the money back. And again, that's not what we don't really care about that.
Right.
Right. But yeah, you gotta pay to play.
So
interesting.
I like going on Instagram a lot, and when I do my posts, I don't really normally post like in the feed. I'll do on the stories like quite frequently, and I like not tagging, but I like playing a song to my 15-second post or whatever. And I noticed that I couldn't find you guys on there, like on Instagram Music. Do you know what I mean? Is there a reason for that? Like, how come I can't find you guys there?
No idea.
It's interesting.
I literally
don't even know anything about that. Instagram Music.
Well, so
are you distributing through something like CD Baby?
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what we're doing.
There might be an option in there for Instagram, because Instagram Music is fairly new.
Oh, okay.
Because
yeah, I know. Like when we are about to like when we're prepping to submit a song or whatever, there is a part where it lists, geez, I'm going to say probably 100 streaming platforms,
right?
Including like TikTok and stuff like that.
Right.
I've never seen Instagram on there. Not to say that it isn't there now, or maybe I'm missing something, but
I didn't see it. We just got that email like a couple days ago, right?
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, see, the thing with cover songs, like, it's not going to be on every platform. Like Spotify, Apple Music, and Amazon are just now starting to look after the royalty side of things for artists, which saves a lot of the BS of releasing it.
Right.
Like, they're kind of responsible, from what I understand. I bought streams anyway just to cover our butts. But yeah, there's like new legislation or something that I've read that it appears that, you know, those 3 streaming platforms will basically do that work for you. They'll make sure that the right people get it, like the royalties. Again, it's a little nerve-wracking, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, if someone contacts me and says you have our song and you're using it, I can show them the license and the efforts I've gone to make sure that we've done it legit. Also, they can take the like 81 cents that we'll ever make off it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. The hope is that if something like that ever came down, that whoever is affected by that would literally just be like, hey, what's going on here? Did you guys get the proper licensing? No. Okay.
And honestly, like if we did something wrong, I'd love
Yeah,
to
just-
know. I'd love
yeah,
to
just
know
tell
and
us.
for sure gonna fix it.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
But I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident that it's fine.
If an artist's attitude is that,
I think Pink's
know,
cool enough. I think Pink's cool
yeah,
enough.
I do
be like,
too.
she'd be like, these guys are nobody and will always be nobody. So let's just let them have it.
I don't know if I agree with
Let the baby have its bottle.
Actually, those kind of like Pink, Alicia Keys, Billie Eilish. I remember seeing them watch other people doing their songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys I don't even know what you'd call him. He's more of a pop guy, Sam Wolfrider. He's just he's a vocalist, and he's somewhere over in the UK. But he would do, like, check him on Instagram. His vocals, I went deep into this guy's videos, watching him. He just sings cover songs, just clips. And
Oh, I think I might know. I think my brother-in-law sends me
It rings a
videos
bell.
of this dude.
yeah, I think his name on Instagram is Sam Wolf
Music?
Rider.
Big beard, long hair.
Yeah, big beard, long hair.
Yeah.
And he sings anything from Alicia Keys. Like Alicia Keys saw him and did like a TikTok.
Right. Oh, this isn't the guy I'm thinking of.
He's incredible, man.
Holy shit.
He's unbelievable. He's got like he's like the definition of like perfect pitch. It's unbelievable.
Holy crap.
Let me see.
He does
He doesn't look like Alicia Keys either.
well, there is a video of him singing an Alicia Keys song, and it's like he's panned to the right, and then you see her pan to the left, watching him.
This one here?
Can you see what?
Yeah.
That's
the one, yeah. And then she kind of ruins it because she's trying to harmonize and it's out of sync.
Yeah.
Nice try, but please don't.
But it's just pretty cool. He does a couple Michael Jackson songs too, and it's just like it's
Sweet.
unbelievable.
I'm gonna look more of.
I think what that showcases too, with Alicia Keys being in that video, is that I'd love to think that most artists would take somebody doing a cover of their song as a compliment, as a some form of flattery. It's very rare that an artist makes a career off of doing a cover.
Yeah.
It happens. There's bands that I only heard of because they did a cover of a song that obviously I knew previously. But it's rare. It's not a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bands do covers.
I think it's more. I think a lot of bands and artists pay tribute to let's call it a bigger artist.
Yeah.
And I think that bigger artist usually sees it as that too, unless that band is trying to cover it to make money.
Right. But even if they're trying to make money, in a sense that they went through the proper channels and released it as such.
I honestly think you're safe to cover any song as long as it's not the Eagles or Metallica. Other than don't you dare rip off Don Henley.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Metallica, we already know what's coming in the future with that. We have a Miley, Cyrus, Elton John collaboration of Nothing Else Matters to look forward to.
What? I didn't hear about this.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's been like this whole thing, and there's a big debate on social media about pop stars doing rock songs. Now, I don't try to live in a catch-22 kind of world because obviously rock rock bands do pop songs all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh well, why can't they be done the other way around? I think the difference is that there's a mentality when you're a pop star versus, you know, you're in a rock band or something like that. And it's not that pop stars aren't into the music that they're doing. It's their songs sound a certain way when they're played with guitars and drums. And when you flip it around the other way, especially when it was a rock song, you don't tend to get the same reaction in a positive way, because now you've taken a rock song and you've turned it poppy. So the people who enjoy pop music are going to like it, but the people who like rock music probably aren't, right?
Right.
Whereas if you take a pop song and you do a rock version of it, obviously rock bands are probably going to like it, but people who like pop music are going to like it because it was a pop song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's instantly recognizable. That's just my opinion, but I don't know. Like,
And
I don't have anything intelligent to say about Miley Cyrus and Elton John doing a Metallica song. Like,
I didn't
just
hear
say
about
that enough times in a row. Like,
yeah.
it pretty much just sums it up.
I'm not saying I'm a Miley Cyrus fan, because that's stretching it, but I do like her and I do like her voice. But I didn't hear about Elton John doing so.
Yeah,
So Miley and Elton are doing a Metallica song together, or
Well,
are they each
yes.
doing?
No, they're doing it together. Yeah, she's doing an entire album of Metallica covers.
Yes, that I've heard.
Yeah,
I honestly think that's badass. I think that's
She's
I'm on the fence
fire
about it, to be honest
these
with you.
days, I think. Hey,
I don't know. I haven't heard it, so we'll see when it comes out.
this is
Yeah.
the first I hear of that though.
She did a cover of Doll Parts by Hole, from like back in the 90s or whatever. And while, I mean, it wasn't Courtney Love, I mean, it was definitely good. And it was surprising to hear that come out of Miley Cyrus. I think what people's issues with it is because pop stars are portrayed a certain way, and we all have this fixed idea of who we think they are, you know, that they're very hollow, very shallow, you know, and puppets, essentially, I think is what a lot of people think. And maybe they're not. You know, this could be Miley's way of coming full circle to what she really wants to be. I mean, everybody saw her go from Hannah Montana to now she's Miley Cyrus, and she's doing all these, you know, poppy, you know, songs for 14-year-olds. Then she got, you know, edgier and racier, and now all of a sudden she's doing rock music. So you got half the people saying, you know, it's fake and shouldn't be doing it, and then you got other people who are just, you know, applauding, saying like, good for you. Like,
yeah, I'm on the applauding side.
I am
'cause
too.
I
think
have a feeling that Miley is one of those artists that does whatever the hell she wants, and right now she wants to do rock music, so she does.
right. She's in a position to be able to do what
Yeah.
she wants to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And even I feel like if it is fake, it's because she wants it to be fake. Do you know what I mean? Like all like I'm saying is she's in a position to be able to do what she wants to do, I think.
Yeah, I think she wants to do it. I don't think she
Yeah.
wants to do.
yeah,
I don't.
At the
think
end of the
there's
day,
any- I don't
honestly,
think there's any fakeness there.
no. If at the end of the day, I look at it this way: if it brings more mainstream attention to Metallica or any other band like Hole or something like that, and turns a younger, like this generation, the younger generation, onto music that they might otherwise have never even heard about. Because believe me, man, there's some huge name bands out there that I've dropped in front of some of the younger people that I work with and that I know, and they don't have a clue who they are.
Oh man,
And it shocks me.
Does you get angry about it? Does it like a small piece of you get mad? Yeah,
no, not a small piece. I'm like,
I'm the same way.
Well, and it's I just don't understand. Like, how do you not know anything that happened in the world before you were born?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Because they listen to pop radio, and that's all they like. The same
is it a
song 4
generational
times an hour.
thing? Because like,
no,
are we?
I grew up.
You're
I
the
know
old ones now.
well, sure, but like even when I was a kid, like let's just say like when I was 16 years old, like I knew music like from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, you know what I mean? And it's like whether you liked it or not was irrelevant. I mean, for me, like I picked my spots, right? There was some stuff I liked and some I didn't, you know. Obviously, like 70s stuff, like a lot of it was awesome. The 80s, same thing, like just all the way up. And then I'm still like that today. Like I stay current with all that stuff because I want to. I love music.
Right.
But yeah, it seems like, and I'll say some, at least the ones that I've come in contact with the newer generation, they don't even know that these bands existed. I had to explain that we talked about 3 Days Grace earlier. I had to explain to somebody today at work who 3 Days Grace was. And I used the term, like they have, and this might be different now, but the last I looked, they had the most #1 songs on the rock charts, like the Billboard charts or whatever, of all time. It was a record previously held by Van Halen, and they squashed it. And like that seems newsworthy, at least in terms of music, right? You know, you like even if you didn't listen to that kind of music, that kind of accolade should at least put you in a place where people know your name, right? At the very least. So it was just shocking that they had no idea who it was. Even went into a few bars and I love like I Hate Everything About You because I figure, well, that'll be the one that they know if they know anything. And they're like, no, not a clue. It's just like,
but I don't know. Did you grow up in a musical family?
No, I mean, not overly. Like my mom listened to music. I mean, like I think just about everybody listens to music, but she wasn't emphatic about it. And she listened to country, like old country. Stuff like from like that wasn't mainstream. It was like when country wasn't cool, or it was only cool if you lived in the South, that kind of thing. Right. And then like rock and roll, like old school stuff, like Elvis and jukebox hits, that kind of thing. I got my musical influences like from various different people. Like my cousins listened to like Def Leppard and Motley Crue and all that kind of stuff. Obviously growing up as kids, like we listened to a lot of pop music because that was what was available to us, and you just kind of went with the flow, right? But growing up in a musical family, like not really. It was just, I don't know, man, music's everywhere. It's in everything we do, it's in everything we see. So it's hard for me. Like when you say like, did I get angry? It's like, yeah, I kind of got angry. It's like, how do you not pay attention to this stuff? How do you not know this stuff?
I'm trying to think of how I grew up, and I guess it's a luxury that my dad was always in a radio studio, so I was hanging out there quite a bit, and
That's cool.
I got to listen to a bunch of music that my friends never listened to because they weren't around a radio studio.
Right.
And my mom always had the radio on a station that plays everything.
Right.
So I don't know. It's not that we're a musical family because none of us plays instruments or can sing or whatever, but it's, there's always that musical background. And I think a lot of kids nowadays, they get their music off TikTok and Instagram.
That's a good point. But at the same time too, I think of things like, when you're of a certain age group, I'm not necessarily saying us, maybe a little bit older or whatever, like the ones who are actually raising teenagers or people in the early like young adults, whatever, I don't know. Like we kind of all came from that generation where we listened to music all the time, right?
Yep.
And you would just kind of think that would get passed on. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's just up to the individual. Like my son, he's 8 years old and he listens to just about everything. And I'm not even being that guy when I say, listens to everything. Like he literally does. He's got pop music. He's got golden oldies. He's got metal. You know what I mean? Like he used to like Blank Space by Taylor Swift. Now he likes Blank Space by I Prevail. Which is
about
awesome.
the same, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, my,
And yeah,
my daughter too. She listens to anything from Zach Brown Band to Maroon 5, and lately she's been on I think it's Ariana Grande or whatever. So yeah, she listens to everything, and I'm not going to tell her, oh, that's bad music, you shouldn't listen to that. I'm like, figure it out.
absolutely.
Eventually, she'll listen to whatever she wants to listen to, and I'm just giving her the basis of, like, the other day she had there was a record here that was, we left it out because it wasn't valuable enough to sell, and it was a Glenn Campbell record, and she was like, oh, this looks cool. I'm like, well, can I turn it on? Yeah, go hard, put it on. And she because I taught her how to put a record on a turntable and whatever, and she put it on, and she started listening to it, and she's like, oh, this is country, okay. And she listened to it. Dad, this record actually sounds pretty good. I'm like, you're 10. How do you know what good sounds like?
Did she mean like good, like the music was good, or the quality of
Both.
the vinyl was good?
Both. So first of all, she recognized that it was country,
Right?
like the genre country, and then she was like, "Oh, this is, there's no scratches on there, and it sounds good. Probably sell this, Dad." I'm like, Glenn Campbell, yeah, maybe.
After
not.
she picks it up off of the floor, off of
Yeah,
your floor.
no, that's the other one. That's my son's. He plays. With it.
The way I was introduced to Glenn Campbell was through Stone Temple Pilots. Believe that or not.
What?
Yeah, I had
believe
no
it.
idea. Yeah, I had no idea who he was. And
Not your mom?
No, not through mom at all. I had bought it was like a greatest hits album from Stone Temple Pilots, the one with all the like yellow flower. It's like a blue album with yellow
Yes.
flowers everywhere.
Thank you, or something. Thank you.
Was that the one? Right.
Yeah.
And it came with like a DVD as well with all the videos and some bonus
Is that the
footage
one with
and stuff.
plush acoustic?
Yeah, well,
It's on there.
that song is on there.
Yeah.
It's almost like a greatest hits kind of thing.
Okay.
That's
but
exactly
anyways,
what it is. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the bonus footage or whatever, they did a song with Glenn Campbell in there, and I was like, "Who the fuck's this guy?" So kind of did a little deep dive into him from there. But that's how I found out who he was. There's also a funny clip.
There's a Netflix documentary about him.
Of Glenn Campbell.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
It's
okay.
actually pretty interesting how he.
That's
No,
okay.
but how
That's
he,
okay.
Yeah.
No, but it's interesting to see how, because he had Alzheimer's and he was losing all of his memories except how to play the guitar and his lyrics.
Oh, I have heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were-
specifically him, Yeah.
He was still touring. He didn't recognize his daughter, but he could play the songs.
Wow.
It was weird, fascinating to watch. But yeah. Anyway, Glenn Campbell.
Yeah.
You know, when I think of Glenn Campbell, I don't even remember the name of it. There was some John Lovitz movie from the early '90s or mid '90s, and he's like a teacher or a substitute teacher or something, and it's a school dance, and everybody's putting
High
requests
School
up to
High.
the DJ. Yes, that's what it was. High School High. And he hands the DJ a record, and it's Glenn Campbell, and it's Rhinestone Cowboy, and he plays it, and then like the DJ starts scratching it, right? He's like a rhinestone cowboy, and just, I don't know, they do this
I
big
remember
dance
that.
thing to it or whatever. That's my Glenn Campbell experience.
Too good.
But as long as you get it from somewhere, right?
That's right. That's like so I was going to say, we were talking about like kids getting their music from like TikTok and stuff.
Yeah. So Wanda in the chat is saying that her son is going from rock to metalcore to rap, then country, just whatever the mood is like that day.
See, and that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Nope.
There's no reason why you need to be stuck on one thing, necessarily.
Yeah.
Definitely, like I have a favorite. I mean, basically the style that we play, that's my favorite. That's probably why we play it. Same with Jay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I listen to a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And we used to foster, and one of the girls that we had here, she was listening to that new mumble rap stuff.
I can't get into that.
No, me neither. But she loves it. So I'm like, yeah, well, you're not gonna win me over, but go hard.
I don't even know what that is.
Do you know Post Malone?
Oh, is that what it's called? Is that called mumble rap?
Well,
I
he
don't
does-
know if I'd call Post Malone mumble
No.
rap.
I was gonna
and-
say
right.
he does the more poppy version of that. If you,
Oh,
I
if
see.
you have other mumble rappers, whatever.
That makes so much sense. I think I know exactly what you're talking about now too. It's like when they're performing, it basically looks like they're not even moving their lips.
And they're just
Okay.
making sounds.
And
We
then
called
they
that-
have that synchronized, like they're not synchronized. Their voice sounds what's
Auto-tune?
Auto-tune.
Yeah.
like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
not
know.
into that.
But if you
Yeah.
listen to that and if you enjoy it, go hard by all means.
But I'll totally rock out some like Public Enemy and NWA and like to me that's rap.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
That old gangster rap from like late 80s, early 90s. Like I love that shit.
And,
For
and
sure.
Wanda is
When it-
clarifying that he didn't get the country from me because she's a metalhead. Just
Yes,
so
she is.
everybody knows, Wanda doesn't like country.
Yeah. We know Wanda's a metalhead. Wanda's awesome. But yeah, I didn't know it was called mumble rap. That's funny.
Yeah.
My wife and I have talked about that specific style before. We didn't know it was a thing, like that it was a style. We were just kind of like talk about like, hey, like those lazy rappers that barely look like they're moving their lips.
That's mumble rap. Yep.
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
thought like
yeah.
maybe, they just smoked too much weed before they recorded.
Oh, that happened. That
That
happened.
too, yeah.
No
yeah.
doubt. But it's an actual thing, like it's done on purpose. And that like
Yeah.
I was today years old when I learned that.
That's crazy. So yeah, I was gonna say like I get really annoyed and like I still learn about music like from back in the day that I didn't know about today, right? So for
Say
instance,
that again. Well, what?
okay, so like
I knew what you
I guess
meant.
what I'm trying to say, like I'm still learning about music from like 50s and 60s and stuff, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I love that kind of stuff, but I'm open to it.
Now you are.
Now I am, yeah. But I suppose in my teens I wasn't. I guess I forget where the fuck I was going with this.
Sorry.
I was trying to bring it to TikTok again and how like that. I was going to talk about that "Oh No" song again.
Oh, the covers.
Yeah, like covers of.
And that the kids nowadays know the cover version, but they don't know.
They
the
don't
original.
know the original version of who the cover is, right?
I think
And that really
that's
bugs me.
yeah. That's a thing that's probably always been though, because like when you say like you're still learning stuff like from the 50s and 60s and stuff like that, I discover nonstop all year long, every year, songs that I grew up with listening to, and then discovering that it was not original.
Yeah.
Like it's not like every song, but it's like
Like
I
Led
can
Zeppelin?
definitely grab a handful
Oh.
of them. What's that?
Like Led Zeppelin.
We were we were and Eric Clapton. I Shot the Sheriff.
Yeah.
We
There
were
was, there was like, wasn't there like a lawsuit against Led Zeppelin on how they were like ripping off a lot of their music, or like they were
yeah,
taking a lot
but
of
they
music.
won
There was
this
like a
one.
lawsuit, wasn't there?
This last one, I think they won.
Did they win? it?
There was one to do with Stairway. I just can't remember who the opposing writer, band, whatever was.
Now,
Yeah.
in as a musician, would you think that is, in your opinion, is that a legitimate lawsuit? Like, do you think that Zeppelin like ripped off those other previous musicians, maybe not as well-known musicians? Or do you think that they maybe were influenced by those people and then kind of made it their own?
I would say an
No
artist
wrong
who-
answer, just like in
no
your
no
right?
for sure. No, I would think that a lot of it has come down to influence. There's only so many things you can play, right?
Right.
Like I know for sure that if you listen to all of our songs, you might hear something that sounds something like something.
Mhm.
You know
I
what I
agree.
mean?
And not just our music, any music.
like
really.
I learned how to play guitar literally by wanting to sound like the bands I listen to.
Yeah.
So, and like I don't consider myself really a guitar player at all, but just from what I do play, it's I can hear my influences, and there's been times where I'm like, oh, that sounds way too similar to something, and
Right.
then I'd be going back and listening, and like we have music ready for another EP right now, and there's one song in there that I keep like listening, and I'm like second guessing, does it sound too much like this band or that band, or you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
anyway, to
What-
answer your question, I mean, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but yeah, to answer your question, I think a lot of the times, I mean, you gotta be pretty ballsy to want to just rip someone off, especially today. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um,
So what do you guys think of Greta Van Fleet?
I think they're awesome. I think they're really,
Yeah.
really good. I think there's, I mean, geez, if you don't hear the similarities there, you're fucking deaf.
I heard it the
Right.
first 30 seconds I ever heard them.
But I dig
I
it.
thought
though.
it was Led Zeppelin the first time I heard them.
I showed my dad that band when they had their first couple singles out or whatever, and I showed my dad because my dad was a big Zeppelin fan. Oh yeah, I don't even know if I'd say big Zeppelin fan, but he was a fan, and yeah, I showed him, and he couldn't believe it. But like he said that it sounds so similar, and normally like he'd be one to talk shit about something like that, but he was like happy. Like it's almost like it was almost like nostalgic or something for him. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I was happy to hear that. Yeah, I was happy to hear that band. I thought it was so cool. The thing is though, and this is how I felt. Like as stoked as I was to hear something so original in the time, because you don't hear anything like the music back then today. It just doesn't exist. So that's what I mean when I say original. Like it's original today. I forget where I was going with that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. As stoked as I was to hear that, I had a small suspicion that flame would burn out pretty quickly, because there, with similarities comes some novelty, in my opinion. Right.
I agree.
And I haven't heard much. I mean, I know they're still doing stuff and they're still releasing stuff.
Well, they've
but
got a single out right now.
Yeah.
It just came out like a week or two ago,
Yeah.
did it not?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But they were pretty quiet for a bit.
Yeah.
They were probably touring too much, or so much.
Could be.
Not in the last year.
No.
Well, no. I guess not.
Jay's right though. Like I felt the same way when I heard them. It was refreshing, I guess, in a sense. Like when he says new, like I know what he means. Like, because nobody's doing that. Nobody sounds like those bands from the 70s anymore. And an argument can be made, because a lot of people say it, that like that was the best era for rock music that there's ever been. And I mean, take that with what you will, but it sounded really cool. I didn't think like, oh, these guys suck. Like they're such a rip off. Like I know that wasn't my take on it. I was impressed. I liked that they sounded like that. But
Yeah,
then after time goes on, you start kind of going like, well, now it's just a band trying to sound like Led Zeppelin. And maybe that's not what they're trying to do, but that's all I hear now.
Yeah, you wonder.
Right.
You wonder, like, so like at the start, I wasn't like, oh, these guys sound just like Zeppelin. I was like, these guys sound just like Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Right. And in further to James's point, like it's you can't help but wonder. I mean, if we can tell the similarities, they for sure can. And you want to, you almost wonder, did they have that conversation and say, do we just go with this and keep riding this and keep this momentum because of this? And that's the risk you take if you're going to go into something sounding so similar.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
The
just
thing
my
is,
that's just
like,
my opinion. They're great. I mean, I can't do anything that they do. So
the thing is like, they chose their style, like the singer notwithstanding, like they chose their style, and that was one choice. So then, I don't know what the lead singer's name is, but then, it's decided that he's going to sing the way that he sings. And it just so happens that his voice matched with the style of music that they're playing. Voila, you've got Led Zeppelin 2.0, essentially. Was that done by design? Or was it just done because, no, this is just how we sound? And, obviously
Could be
heavily
anything, though,
influenced
right?
by it. It could be, yeah. I mean, the
think-
fact that the guy has that kind of voice, that kind of range, it is kind of rare these days. So, I mean, why not showcase it and go with it?
I've seen an interview with them, and they get that question, not specifically, because it feels like before they go into each interview, they say we don't want to talk about Led Zeppelin, but somehow in this interview, yeah. So somehow in this interview, the interviewer kind of weaseled in a question like, "Why do you sound like the way you sound?" And it was like, so they are three brothers and one friend, I believe. So they were jamming together, and they were in the garage, and because they were influenced by Led Zeppelin, the 70s bands, whatever, that's how they got their sound. And they were using a crappy microphone and some crappy sound for the singers, so he had to sing really loud, and it just happened to sound like Robert Plant, right? Yeah. So that's
sure,
kind of
I'll buy it.
That's how they explained it. Now I don't know if that's a story that they made up, or if that's the actual.
Well, I'd
like to believe it, because that's
right. It's definitely, I would argue to say that is true, but the whole like stylistic side of it, right? The clothes that they're wearing,
I was just gonna say, if they didn't have that image, I would probably buy that. I'd probably buy that a little more. But now, again,
all the 70s
it could be
like that, right?
For sure. I think that it could be a mixture of both. Like maybe they developed their sound by accident. Label hears it. Label sees dollar signs. If we go this route, they went that route.
Yeah.
Right. So it could absolutely be a mixture of both.
Do you guys think a lot about that? Like branding, I guess, like you're not branding, but kind of like your style, like what you guys look like on stage and stuff. Is there a lot of focus that goes into that? Like much goes into that?
We've never been on stage.
Yeah, we have yet to have our first live performance ever.
It's literally only two
No
of
way.
us.
Yep. Yeah, we've never done it. When we formed this band in 2018, the initial idea behind it was because we had known each other for so many years in other bands. And it just kind of became one of those things where once we reconnected, we're like, hey, we want to do music and see what we can do with together as far as that goes. And it was kind of just like a labor of love to start with. So we made our first EP and we really liked it. So, I mean, we put it out there, got really good response from people, and we decided we're going to keep going with it. So with our 2020 release, Humanity, that came out, I think it was February 1st or March 1st. It came out last year. And I remember we got together for like a little photo shoot. And we discussed, what do we want to do? Where do we see ourselves going? And we agreed that we wanted to at least play a live show at some point. And it was at least part of the conversation. And it was just kind of left with that. Like, okay, well, we'll figure that out when it's time to do that.
It happens kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, like that EP was released March 1st. I literally was sent home from work like 3 weeks later for the next 7 weeks because of the pandemic. Right. So nobody was doing anything. So that kind of got put on the back burner. And like Jay said before, like, it's just the two of us. Like we're the members of this band. We're the core members of this band. We have friends that are ready to step up, play live with us whenever that can happen, when we want it to happen. But right now, like, everything you hear is just us. Everything you hear on, Spotify or whatever, like what we record, that's
That
just
makes
us.
it like fucking 30 times better, I think. I didn't know that, man. That is, like I said, I don't do any research,
Yeah.
right? That's fucking amazing, man. That's so cool.
There's a one friend of ours, AJ. He does some guitar parts, mainly in the some acoustic songs that we've done. He joins in on that, does a solo. I think he also, he did an electric solo for us too in one of our other songs. And that's it. Just because, and basically just because like Jay didn't want to do like the soloing. He's more of a rhythm guitarist.
Because it wouldn't be good. Like let's make that clear. And no, I'll refresh James's memory. So there's a solo on a song. What's that song called?
Was it Infinity?
Infinity.
Is that you?
No, so that was my buddy Jesse, who
Jesse.
I played in bands with years ago. He's like a scientist with guitar, so that was a pretty easy one.
Yeah.
And then AJ did the acoustic solo on Shadows, which was on that same EP. Yeah. And then Through It All, which is the other acoustic song on our new EP.
Right.
And that's as far as, it's really just solos, because I know what I really am not good at, so I don't really bother.
Right. But going back, go ahead.
And then on Burn in the bridge, our buddy Mike got in on the screaming with James.
Yeah.
That was
wasn't even really fun. That wasn't even really planned. It was just he was there that day when I was tracking vocals, and he has a dirty scream. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And I wanted him on there. We wanted him on there.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got one of those little sneaky Easter egg cameos. One of those uncredited cameos. But going back to your original question, Image, like what you're looking at it.
Right. Right.
Like if we were to play a show tomorrow, you know what I mean? Like this is us.
Oh, I love that.
Like I'm not going to plan for myself on like, well, I'm going to make sure that I wear a collared shirt, or a plaid shirt or anything specific. It's going to be,
we
whatever it is.
We literally took if you look at our band picture on Spotify, it was literally done in my stairwell of
yeah,
of our house, of my house.
Which one would you say was your favorite song that you listened to there today? Yeah, I'm putting you on a spot.
Okay, so he does.
I already know mine. I got like my top 3 already.
I know the songs. I just don't know which title goes with which one.
Come on.
We're waiting, Mark.
Okay, hang on. Let me pull up my title.
So listening today, I don't like. I'm not critiquing or anything. I'm just being open and honest about it, man. I loved all of it.
Just for the record,
notice
your songs are still right there when I open my title.
He's on the spot now.
We believe you, buddy.
I noticed a lot of I might be wrong here, but I noticed a lot of positivity in the lyrics of the songs. And I liked that. Now, am I crazy? Or
no. There's a 50-50 thing there for sure. I mean, I'm not going to put you on the spot and say that you dissected every single one of the songs that we
didn't. I didn't. It was just something I would pick up on, like the pause. Like, for example, I said this to my wife, my common law today, and she kind of looked at me like I was crazy. But the song "Through It All," dude, I would totally have that as like a wedding song. I thought it was like one of the most beautiful things that I heard. And I just took a lot of positivity out of that song when somebody not really paying attention to it would maybe not see it like I saw it today.
So when you listen to that song, I love playing this game. What do you think it's about?
I think it's about companionship, love, and respect, and how they like basically when I was listening to it, that's what I was seeing, like love, companionship, and how they were sticking through, like how you were with, or like the singer is with his woman forever, and like they you know, side by side till death do me part kind of thing. That's kind of what I was taking from that song.
See, and that totally fits. It totally fits. This is one of my favorite things about music. Is it's so interpretive. Everybody hears a song and they hear, I don't want to say like what they want to hear. That sounds so simple, but
Right,
it's kind of like that. You know what I mean?
But you're
like,
absolutely right. And that's why like I feel a little awkward. Like when I'm sitting here doing the show with guests after I listen to them, like, of course I want to talk about their music and how it made me feel, but yet it's a little embarrassing because I might be way off base, or, you know, you might not like what I have to say, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not criticizing.
Nah.
No, I love it and I listen to
no,
it. You know what I mean?
no. So I never heard an ounce of criticism in there. And I mean, criticism's fine too. I mean, you know, I mean, not really, but, but like I said, it's interpretive, and I love that. It's interesting. Like you're not wrong in what you're hearing. It's not how I wrote it. It's not what I had in my head when I wrote those lyrics, but it fits. And even me, like I can listen back to it and I can reinterpret it to different things. But full disclosure, Through It All is about my son. And the message that I'm sending to him, to make a longer story shorter, is just the world can be a really crappy place, but I'm going to make sure that I'm there to see you through it all. Which is like why the chorus, when it says, like, behind the sadness, you will see how beautiful this life can be. Because there's a lot of freaking sadness going on right now. I mean, we were in the middle of a pandemic when I wrote that. My son hasn't been able to play with his best friend in, I don't even know, it's been forever. I think last August was the last time they physically played together. And you know, he doesn't see other kids really, especially now it's winter, right? There's no playground to go to. And then there's just the other things, you know, life takes its toll on the adults. You know, right now it's go to work, come home, do nothing, you know, for the most part. Right. So there's a bleak outlook a lot of times. But it's kind of serves as a reminder that there's more to life out there than just what you're seeing. There's more than just a pandemic going on out there. There's more than just, you know, all the other crap that maybe he's aware of, maybe he's not, like the riots and like the political bullshit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that's all there. And like it has been our entire lives. We see that more than anything else because that's the stuff that sells through the media. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about the good thing that happened to the nice guy. You know what I mean? They don't want to hear about that. What they want to hear about is how the guy who's been a nice guy his entire life got super screwed over in a very malicious and violent way. They want to see that. You know what I mean?
This is where Joel is gonna talk about that text he got from the reporter.
Oh, about the news media. Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what that song's about. Anyway, so it's a message.
That made it even that much more beautiful. Just knowing that was for your son. That was out of all the songs I listened to today. That was my number one, man. That one I fucking listened to it like 4 times today.
So when I listen to music, it's usually during work. So I'm not really paying attention to the lyrics or the title of the song. It's just what it feels like. And I was listening with headphones on, and I think Infinity made me go like, whoa, because of the drums and the guitars in there. That I think that was
your top
favorite one. Yeah,
that's cool because I told Jay the same thing. I think just a few days ago.
That Infinity's your favorite?
Well, in terms of like a lot of like what he does, there's just something about, I can't even put it into words, to be honest with you. There's just something about like the sound of the guitar, and the
Yeah.
drum, certain way that everything unfolds. I love how it sounds, and especially in a pair of headphones.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you say that, but yeah, that's all Jay. That's all Jay.
Cool.
Which what city are you guys in exactly? Like, where are you guys? I never asked.
Technically the band was created in Wasaga Beach, which is where I still reside. And then Jay ran away and he moved to La Fontaine.
I got my family out of Wasaga Beach quickly.
More accurately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're still in the same area for the most part. Like I said, he's only 30 minutes away.
I live in a township called Tiny.
Are you serious?
Very aptly
Yeah.
named.
Yeah. Yeah, the township's called Tiny.
Huh.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. Lots of beaches. And,
But I would say in terms
it's
of
not
geography,
tiny. It's actually
No,
quite
not really.
large. So
but it's large, but it's full of teeny tiny little towns.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But to give you for the geography of it all is like we're probably
We live in
90
the same. We live in the same town.
yeah we're
Right.
like 90 minutes north of Toronto essentially.
Which is not far north enough.
I'm Googling it.
Oh,
So
there you
that
go.
and so the reason I was asking is like, I mean, that sucks that your little dude can't play with his friends. How old is your son, if you don't mind me asking?
He's 8. He'll be 9. He'll be 9
If you were paying
next month.
attention, if you were paying attention, he mentioned that.
Did you say that earlier? I totally missed that.
I did. That's fine.
Like twice, dude.
I never said I was smart, right? But yeah, so like, does he like what's oh my god, I'm stuttering. What's going on with school there? Like, does he not go to school?
We homeschool him.
Okay, how is that for you?
It has its challenges. That's all my wife. That's all my wife. My wife is brilliant. She we made that choice years ago for reasons I won't disclose.
Right.
But it was within our best interests to do that. I don't have a lot of faith in the school system with a lot of what's going on, the cutbacks that the government constantly makes, this, that, and the other thing, just various reasons.
Right.
And he's grown exponentially as a result of it. And my wife gets 100% credit for that. I do very little when it comes to the school, mostly because I'm out. I work my shift work job, so I'm either doing that or sleeping or whatever when the school's actually happening. And if I'm home, I just kind of let them do their thing. But she's a mom and a teacher like 100% of the time. Some days it goes really well. Other days it goes really, really, really not well.
Right.
But the advantage to it is he's not getting a one-size-fits-all education. And that's not to pounce on anybody, obviously, whose kids go to public school. I mean, I went to public school. I'm sure we all went to public school probably.
Right.
It is what it is. But it was a choice that was before us that we had the option to do. And we did it before he was enrolled in school. And we have that freedom in Ontario. I'm not sure what it's like in Saskatchewan in terms of the rules. But we have that we can choose to educate our kids how we see fit here in Ontario. Where it gets a little hairy is if they were already in school and you want to pull them out, because now they ask a bunch of questions and got to go through a lot of red tape, jump through a lot of hoops, that sort of thing. We didn't have to do that, luckily. So again, long story short, that's what we do. He's thriving with it. We get to focus on the things that he's really good at, the things that are really important. And he kind of steers us, shows us like what he's interested in. And we get to foster that. And that's not something that I ever got in school. I had definitely certain interests that I would have loved to have had more, been able to explore more and not had to wait until high school just to find out that the thing I was interested in is not something that was offered, couldn't really do anything about it. So we have that opportunity in front of us. And I think the worst thing that can come out of that is he has a million things he wants to do and could be qualified to do.
Yep.
So that's a nice problem to have, I think.
Yeah,
For sure.
kudos to you, man, because that's homeschooling is not easy.
No doubt.
Well, like I
You
said,
get to be
kudos
like you're the fun phys ed teacher, Dad.
Yeah.
in the summertime. In the wintertime, I'm just a sloth that sits at home and eats. Like straight up. It's like I'm drinking coffee and then I'm gonna eat stuff and like let's go outside. Like, no, it's cold out there.
Right on.
Actually, just to go back to the songs, Wanda is saying her top 3 is Burden, then Storm, and then Through It All. And Humanity is a great one too. And Amy likes Infinity.
Amy would like Infinity.
She would.
Because Amy is
James's wife.
Amy is my wife.
Hi, Amy. Props to you on the homeschooling.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah. Amy or Infinity. I was about to say Amy is about infinity. I wrote that for her.
yeah,
Yeah.
that explains.
There's again, the whole long story short, the theme in that song is saving me, and she did. So that's my nod to her for doing that. That might be why I tell Jay that that's my favorite too, because it was the first song. It was the first song I wrote for her that made it onto an album or made it a record or whatever we call it.
We had to make Amy earn it.
Yeah. Well, the very first song I ever wrote with you, I had her in mind, and it didn't make the cut because it was garbage.
It wasn't garbage. It just really sucked.
Yeah. It was a good.
But it wasn't
it was our
even.
practice.
But it wasn't like I just wasn't happy with my side of it. You know what I mean? That's all.
No, going back to it, I wasn't happy with my side of it either. It was literally the first thing we had done, and it was kind of like.
Then we made a good call then.
Absolutely, that was the let's write a song. It was kind of like it was the stretching before the actual workout.
Yeah.
We got the stretching out of the way, and then the next song we wrote, it was a keeper. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Which one?
Oh, the next one we wrote after that was "I Have Mine," which is the opening track on our first EP
that we don't listen to anymore.
Yeah, still very proud of it, but sonically it is so much more medieval than what we've done now.
I think a lot of bands are like that, where they release a bunch of stuff, and if they listen to their own stuff, it's only the latest stuff. The first EP or first album is like, yeah, it was good for the time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can still listen to it, kind of, but it's like
I can't. It's just
you
it's
definitely
so
see
bad.
the difference.
Yeah, it's just so bad, and it sucks because like there was a part of me that wanted to redo a couple of the songs now off our first one, but you can never recreate something, even though it'll sound good. There's something missing, and it just better off just leaving it alone. That
initial spark, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not a big fan of like I don't know, Infinity. Let's say Infinity. Like I would never be a fan of Infinity 2.0.
James,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. James was getting nervous because I was starting to talk about how I wish the first record sounded good, and I could tell he was like, "Whoa, what's going through his head? Don't do this."
No, I know how you feel about the first record.
So then I played on it a little bit. I was like, really, I'd love to do this one song, and I can hear his teeth grinding.
No, I don't want to.
Would you watch our first episodes of this podcast?
Yeah, and I just fucking laugh at ourselves. Like, look at how stupid we look. Like we had, oh my God, I couldn't imagine. I would though, just to laugh at it and be.
You know what though?
Not that we know what we're doing right now. We still don't know what the hell we're doing. Like we were 10 minutes late to getting the freaking computer booted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's important to archive that stuff and look at it and remind yourself how far you've come, because you can typically I think you typically get a little distracted by your progress by progressing. So that's crazy. as that sounds.
100%. 100%.
All I have to do is look at the YouTube thumbnail, and I know enough. I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys, is there like, what's the chances of you guys playing that first live performance this year?
This
Like
year,
realistically.
realistically, very slim. I think.
And
I think mainly because of the pandemic.
is there not like
it's not that we don't want to.
right? Is
Did
there
there-
not like a venue play, like for example, in Saskatoon here, there's like a little restaurant pub kind of thing where they have a stage, and they've had like live music there recently, I think in the last few weeks. But
Yeah,
there's, like-
Ontario is really, really mismanaged. I mean, arguably the whole world's been mismanaging this whole thing, in one form or another. But the Ontario thing, everyone's really, really struggling, and you know, I just realistically, I don't see anything happening until fall.
Yeah.
And
oh wow,
and even still, and this is just speculation, but like, I'm in an industry where I see restaurants and bars and where they're at, and I can easily say, and like, in my opinion, it's way more than this, but I'm just saying this to be safe. Like, half the businesses that were forced to close, are not coming back. They're done.
Yeah.
They're finished. And I don't know about out where you guys are, but like, Kelsey's and Boston Pizzas and shit don't have bands play.
Yeah.
And those are really the only ones that are showing any signs of making it through all this. So
It's going to be interesting to see what's available.
Yeah, we have no plans to play live, because I don't think there's a point in making plans right now. However, like James mentioned earlier, we have players ready, and I think there's a good chance that we all get into the same room this year and start rehearsing and start seeing how things go there. I think that's got a high probability.
right?
And if James doesn't want to do it, then we'll just do it without him.
No, I want to do it. But doing the actual show, like advertising, our first show, I realistically just don't see it happening. I mean, number one, nobody's like, we all still haven't had that vaccination thing and this, that, and the other thing. Like, that's whether that's a thing people want to get or not. I know that we are miles away from being out of this. So there's a safety factor to take into consideration. There's the availability, like what Jay was talking about. Like, there are businesses that, like, especially just talking about those kind of venues specifically, they're done. They've been gutted. We're literally having, like, moving away from bars and restaurants, we literally have like barbers and hair salons and people like that have been protesting and staying open, because we're technically still in the middle of a lockdown here where we are. And they're so gutted financially, right, about to lose everything, that they're just saying, like, screw it, we're staying open because we need to put food in our kids' bellies. Right. And you can say what you will about it. I mean, I get why they're doing that. So to think about the idea about there being a bar or some kind of venue available for us to cram people inside of to come see us play live, it just doesn't.
Yeah, and that's
right.
That's a whole other dynamic too, because it's like, I'm pretty confident in saying that if someone turned the lights on tomorrow and they said, okay, everything's open, you guys just do whatever the hell you guys want to do, there's going to be a lot of people who are hesitant, right? It's easy to find all the people who are saying all the reasons why you should be going out, right? and I'm not advocating for one way or the other.
No.
I'll keep my opinions to myself, but there are for sure people who just don't want any part of going out. They haven't left their house, and
For
you know.
sure. And just to say as well is, like I was mentioning, the places in Saskatoon that are doing such, like they're still following like
guidelines.
Saskatchewan health guidelines, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, without a doubt.
they've lowered their capacity, so there's only like 40 people in the building, with the band on stage with plexiglass separating the band members and stuff like that, right? Like, and you have to wear a mask in the building, like stuff like that. So it's not like they're 160 people
It's
in a
not
bar.
Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
See, then something else that's worth mentioning when it comes to playing a show, or like more specifically us, like our first show, is the idea of like, what do we want that to look like? Like without sounding too cheesy, you always remember your first time, right? So like, do we want to play our first show in front of a group of 20 people? I mean, it might end up that way anyway because we suck, but like,
Right.
If we're going to play a show and it's our first show, we want it to be a big deal. I'm pretty sure, right? I mean, I know I do. Wherever it goes from there, I mean, we deal with it, but like I said, like we're still very much smack dab in the middle of a lot of restrictions. And like Jay said, there's a lot of people that, there's people that are willing to go to something like that, and there's people that aren't. And, would we be cutting ourselves off at the knees by saying like, oh, we're coming to play our first show, and then like literally all the people who really want to see us play are the ones that, don't want to go to a venue like that to come see it happen.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And the people that are willing to go to a show don't, because they don't know us, like us, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So now we're about to play our first show, and it's like, like a couple drunk winos and like, the bartender. I don't know.
You do like the sports stadiums and just have the cardboard cutouts in the crowd.
That would make me, that would make us feel pretty cool.
Absolutely. Go through all that effort.
I mean, it's worth noting that we're looking at doing a live acoustic performance at my house, like in the living room, and doing, do like a full living room concert type thing,
right,
and stream it. Absolutely looking at doing that. We have the means to do it. We've kind of put a tentative plan in place to make that happen.
Soon?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Man, I'm in.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah, it'll be soon. We're not 100% sure how it's going to look yet. Like we have an idea, and it's definitely something. It's content. I don't know. Again, though, like going back to the live thing, it's something we definitely want to do. I know I definitely want to do it. From past bands and things like that, like I miss it. I miss being on a stage. It's kind of the end game to like what you right, put out there, like on a record. Like now you want to get out there and perform it live and get that reaction from a crowd. I love doing that. I love trying to get a reaction out of a crowd, and especially like it when it works. But you can't do that with, like live from the living room type stuff and whatnot. Yeah. At this point, though, the cool thing is it'll be baby steps for us, where we can just it'll be cool to just get into a room and play organically together, without having to, like,
we've never
takes and stuff like that.
We've never even sat in the same room and I played something and James has sang with me in the same room. Like I write the music, I make the music, I send it to him. When he's ready, he comes and puts his stuff on it. It's literally how every song that's out there by us has been.
Yeah.
So
he writes the notes, I write the lyrics, and that's our formula.
Well, that's not true. You write notes too.
I do?
Well, your vocals are notes.
Oh, okay, we're getting technical now. Melodies.
Anyway,
yeah. No, and it'll be really fun. I'm looking forward to us doing that, to having an acoustic thing. I love acoustic music. It's raw. It's bare
well,
bones.
and a couple of our non-acoustic songs can easily translate into such. So
and it's exciting. We were working. You guys, well, I shouldn't say me. All I got to do is sing it, and I already know how to do that. But you, I've been working on some of our non-acoustic stuff, and I'm excited for people to hear what that sounds like. Like I said, we're not 100% sure what that's going to look like. If it's going to be like a multiple song thing where it's like a concert, or if it's going to be like a content thing where it's just like, this week we're releasing this, next week we're releasing this. Not sure what the best way to go about that is, but something's coming.
I am, yeah, and I'm getting together with a couple of the players in a couple weeks from now to go over those songs and to kind of hammer that stuff out, and just, you know, one step closer to being ready to do that. So
yeah.
Royal Blood.
What about it? What?
That's I couldn't think of it earlier when we were talking, but Royal Blood is also a 2-piece band. They make a hell of a lot of noise for 2 people.
yeah,
That's true.
I don't know who that is. Do I know who that is?
Maybe.
Trouble's Coming. That's their big song right now. That's their
yeah.
That's
It's like he's like, it consists of a bass player and a drummer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me.
I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up right now.
You are? Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not gonna play it. Last week I played the theme song for DuckTales and got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
I know. Royal Blood's a very big force in rock music right now. Have been for a couple of years.
I like it.
Same with the Black Keys. They're a 2-man group.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
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 How come I did not know that?
Dude, we were gonna see him.
I know.
I mean, there wouldn't be. They're not going to be 2 guys when you go see them live.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they're 2 guys generally that make the music.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of bands out there that are mainly a 2-piece, even if they're presented as more than a 2-piece.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to like disrespect anybody here, but let's be honest. Metallica's a 2-piece band. It's James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich. They write all the stuff. The only time they weren't a 2-piece band was during Saint Anger, and you guys know anything about that record, you know how that turned out.
That's the worst record ever.
Right. I still like it.
That's their that's been their formula almost since the get-go is James and Lars write the songs. They tell the rest of the guys like what they're playing, and they're like, cool. Like, I know Kirk Hammett puts his little spin on the solos for the most part.
Yeah.
I think.
If I had to pick either James or Kirk to be in my band, it would be James all day. Like, just as a guitar player.
For sure.
Right.
Like, he's so good. He's actually, and maybe it's just my lack of knowledge of Metallica, but like, I find James Hetfield is like an underrated guitar player. Like, I think he's incredible.
The guitar solo. The guitar solo on Nothing Else Matters is James Hetfield. It's not Kirk Hammett. And without going through liner notes, I'm sure you would find that a lot in a lot of their songs. I mean, for all we know, he might do 50% or more of the guitar solos on the records that you listen to. And then when you go see them live, Kirk takes over. Not 100% sure on that, but it comes down to when there's, sorry.
I was just going to say, I saw an interview with Kurt saying how to this day, he's still worried that he'll get fired from Metallica.
I have seen that. But I think you'll find, like, when it all comes down to it, like, no matter how many people you have in your band, like, once you get to a certain number, you get, what's that old saying? You get too many hands in that cookie jar, right? And it's like, it gets too jumbled. It's not controlled enough. Like, it becomes a mess. And I think, again, referencing Metallica, and they'll admit to it to this day, that's exactly what happened with Saint Anger. And, you know, whether you like it or not, I mean, that's indifferent. I mean, I don't hate it myself. But it's definitely like at the bottom of the list for me in terms of anything they've ever done.
Right.
And I attribute that to that reason. It's like you drifted away from the formula that you used forever, and this is what you got. And then you went back to the regular formula after that, and everything was cool again. You know what I mean?
Right.
That made me think of Foo Fighters, because Foo Fighters is basically Dave Grohl with other musicians.
Yep.
For the
And
most part, yeah.
yeah, so their last album, Medicine
At Midnight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard the whole album yet, but
It's good.
yeah, but they were on Howard Stern, and I heard Dave Grohl say that he was taking advice and influence from all the other band members, and I think that shows in
It does.
the songs.
100% it does.
This album might actually be one of those Saint Anger albums.
Think so?
Maybe.
It could be. See, the difference between Foo Fighters, Medicine at Midnight, and Metallica's Saint Anger is Saint Anger didn't sound like Metallica. It sounded like a shitty garage band with pots and pans for drums, with James Hetfield singing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Medicine at Midnight, like you listen to it, it still sounds like it's still Foo Fighters.
Yeah, that's true.
But I can totally get behind it not being their best effort, you know. I mean, and that being said, I mean it's all relative, right? I mean,
yeah.
A wise person will probably tell you that the worst, like even just using Foo Fighters as an example, like the worst Foo Fighters record is probably going to be better than a lot of other people's best stuff.
Yes.
You know, just because of who they are. But again, when you keep that control point to a smaller thing, look at their first record. Dave Grohl, 100%. That entire thing. I think he recorded it all himself. Like that's him on everything on the first record.
Yeah.
And then once he realized like it was getting released and this was going to be a thing, he's like, oh shit, I better get some people to play this stuff with me, right?
Right.
And he wrote all that, I'm pretty sure, when he was still in Nirvana.
Or right after. Right. Yeah.
That what you said there made me think of Garth Brooks, actually, because remember when he tried to do
Is this a reference?
that? It should be
Chris
Gaines. Yes. So the Chris Gaines album was considered like a flop, right? But if you actually look up the statistics of it, wasn't it like triple platinum, and it just like blew everything else out of the water, and it was considered a failure?
Well, because it was probably considered a failure in terms of stylistic means, or just like critically maybe, because there's a lot of bands.
He's a weird dude, man.
Yeah,
I would agree with you tenfold.
But
he's a weird dude.
Critics in general, I'm not a fan of critics.
You think of something like a band where they release a giant record that sells, let's go back a few years, that sold millions of copies, right? And then their follow-up record critically gets panned. They're like, oh, this is nowhere near as good. I'll give you a good example. Hootie and the Blowfish, remember them?
Yeah.
Yep.
So their first record, Crack Rear View, I remember when that came out. I was young, but it was so critically acclaimed. I think at the time it became like one of the
you're back.
best.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Rewind a little.
We lost you at Hootie and the Blowfish. You remember them?
Oh, okay. So when they released their first record, Crack Rear View, it was critically they loved it, and it ended up selling. I think at the time it became like the 5th best-selling, I don't know, debut or something like that of all time. Like it held a record anyway. And whatever, like say what you will about Hootie and the Blowfish being a fan. I'm just using it as a statistic. Their next record came out. It didn't sell as much as Crack Rear View, but it sold a lot. Like millions. It sold in the millions. But critically, it was panned. You know what I mean? So you could sell a lot of records or something like that based on who you are, based on the success of your past record. And if you look at it that way, you're like, well, this was successful. But if at the end of the day it sucked,
Right.
you know, again,
Right.
all relative or whatever, then it's only ever going to be remembered. Like Saint Anger. Saint Anger sold like 4 million copies like the year that it came out, something like that, which, you know, for a metal record or whatever, like it's still really good. It was no Black Album for them, but nothing ever was.
No.
But that was like, that's really impressive. You try to think of anything selling 3-4 million records now, you're probably talking about like the biggest pop star in the world, and even they probably struggle to sell that if they sell that.
Right.
Well, right now, the best-selling record that we have on the site is probably still Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Is it the top one?
Yep.
The best-selling album of all time?
No,
on our
Funky Moose Records
on our
like
site.
the vinyl.
Oh, okay. Dark Side of the Moon, eh?
Yeah, and then albums like Metallica's Black Album, Amy Winehouse. So it's not a lot of newer pop stuff that sells a lot.
No,
Record
and I
wise.
wouldn't expect that it would be.
No, but those get downloaded more probably.
Yeah, of course, and that's what killed that whole thing anyway. That's why nobody's gonna sell those kind of records anymore, like albums.
Do you guys total topic change? Do you guys like ship vinyl?
Yes.
Yeah, you'd
That's
ship
all we
something
do.
to Ontario.
Yep.
All around the world, buddy.
Yep. Toronto is actually the #1 city that we ship to.
Wow. Do you ship like to my door?
Yep. Depends. Well, to your mailbox probably.
Yeah.
Because
Where-
you're
where
in the
you would get
rural
your
area.
parcels?
So yeah.
Yeah. I'm in a Do you guys sell
probably-
those? Do you guys sell those hoodies?
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
we
are
do.
new on the site.
That's awesome. I really like them.
Yeah.
They're nice.
It's
My design.
wow.
Technically,
Wow.
You put
technically,
put
this
the
is
design
my.
on
I
the
put
hoodie.
the picture on. I put the print on the chest. That's about my contribution to this.
Who drew the moose?
a guy named Arthur.
Nice. Arthur did a
so
good job.
so it wasn't your design; it was Arthur's design.
Yeah.
Right. It was my design.
It was your idea.
contribution.
It was your
No.
idea.
No.
It was my idea to put it this big on the front of this.
Yeah. So you really did nothing.
You were like,
I did nothing.
we're Funky Moose Records. You know what we should do? We should have a moose, and we
So-
should put it on a shirt.
No, so this logo has been with me for since 2015 when I opened the store. And then Joel kept bugging me about the merchandise that was lacking on the site because I had a shirt or two. I was like, okay, you keep bugging me.
Yeah.
How about I give you a job?
So So I'm gonna take over on this story. So Mark puts me in charge of merchandise on the store, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put everything on there: cups, t-shirts, pants, hats, everything. I put these sweaters on about 2 months ago, maybe not that long ago, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's where it stalled.
That's all I've done so far. On the
You don't
merch
want to put. You
side
don't
of
want to put too much on there though. Keep it.
There you go.
Keep it simple.
That said,
Absolutely.
this is probably the bestseller so far.
Oh, it's freaking awesome, man! And
Yeah,
there's like 6 colors,
they look legit.
and they're
They look-
comfy AF.
They look.
They look funky.
Uh,
They're pretty good. Hey, we were
That
gonna
was
do another
lame.
poll on
Hashtag dad joke.
the name of the moose. We're still trying to figure out. Or did you figure out a name yet?
no,
So we're taking ideas on what to name
Hmm.
this moose.
Moose.
Just moose.
Just moose.
No. Hmm.
Lame.
You don't even have any ideas. I like Eric.
You know what? Something
Eric?
sophisticated.
No, Eric.
Eric?
Eric.
Eric
Eric,
the Moose.
I
Eric with
think,
a Eric that ends with a C.
I think we're gonna do some kind of
Does that sound
promotional
different?
thing, right?
You're not even gonna pretend to like that idea, eh?
The Eric one.
You're just
I
gonna
just don't-
you're just gonna pretend you didn't hear that, eh? I don't blame you.
that's what.
Tough crowd.
Eric. How about
How does it-
Keith?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Eric.
Look, look
What
at that
were you
moose.
thinking? I think Mark's was leaning towards Manny, weren't you?
Manny. the Moose.
Yeah, don't like
Manny
that.
No,
I didn't really like that one either.
I don't know.
If you look at like both of you, look at each other's mooses.
mooses.
And
Plural of mooses.
yeah. But look at the
Moose?
moose and tell me that isn't Eric. Like, to me, that's Eric.
That's not Eric.
Eric. That is such an
Eric?
that is his name, boys. Whatever.
Well,
Guess I didn't
we'll see.
try.
Is there any names in the chat there? Anybody?
Oh, right.
We'll have to do we're doing a poll for sure.
I see where Mark was going with Manny, right? Like, do it.
Yeah,
let's
I
stick
don't.
Manny
How about Eric?
How about Merrick?
What?
Nope.
Merrick.
No.
The combination
Medrick?
of Manny and Eric.
So if you're gonna do a poll, can you at least have Eric up there? I bet you he'll.
100%, man.
I bet
know
you
what?
that'll take the cake.
How about you?
Amy-
How about you
Amy-
do a poll?
Amy suggests Maurice.
That's
hormone
actually
monster.
that's
That's
pretty
a
good.
great idea.
That's
The
actually pretty
Hormone
good.
Monster on what's that show? Big Mouth
Big
on
Mouth.
Netflix. You guys watch that show?
No.
No,
It's pretty funny.
I know
It's
what
like-
it is.
Yeah, and the hormone monster's name is Maurice. There, he's a pretty horny guy.
So do you want Maurice to be a horny moose?
Oh, Maurice the horny.
You know
moose?
what? The more I think about Eric, the more I like it.
I promise you, Eric will be one of the names on the poll.
Okay.
For sure.
Yep.
I promise you.
You know why? Because you're never going to be able to forget it now. Because it's literally
Right?
Jay just like,
Yeah.
It's gonna win.
Eric.
No matter what we're gonna call it, his name is Eric.
It's gonna be Eric.
Yeah.
gonna
right.
be Eric.
See how like
Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, here's Manny the Moose. And Jay's going to be like, oh, you mean Eric?
Yeah.
I talked to Manny. He doesn't like it. he likes Eric.
I honestly think that could do well. Eric.
We've spent enough time talking about it now. It's going to be Eric to us.
I think so.
now.
Well, what we
mean-
have to do is we have to finish the promotional thing we've got going on right now currently. I don't even know if you guys know about it. We're trying to get obviously more subscribers on YouTube, right? So one way we did that was we're doing a giveaway right now. We're in the middle of it, or we're actually 3/4 past it. So Audio Technica was donated a record player
No, they
for it.
didn't.
What?
They didn't donate.
Well, they're one of the sponsors.
They're
They didn't
helping us
donate
out.
it,
Let's call it that.
but they sponsored it. And
Even that's
you
pretty
know, we
sick,
threw
though.
in
That's pretty cool.
right, and
Yeah.
one of these things so the whole idea, we were at 300 subscribers when we started this, and we calling it a race to 1,000. But essentially, when we hit 500 subscribers, we added an item, and then 750 subscribers, we added an item, and then when there's 1,000, we'll do the draw. So it started with the record player, and then we added this
The groove
the
washer.
groove washer kit to
record
do
washer
some
kit.
cleaning on
That's
on the
cool.
vinyl, right? And some merchandise,
Yeah, like that hat that Joel is wearing,
one of these,
and a t-shirt.
and $100 gift certificate to anything in the store.
Yeah, and when we hit
Damn.
1,000, we're gonna add something else.
Yeah, and then so we'll do the draw and give that away, and the next one can be the draw for the name of Eric.
Maybe.
Or
Yeah.
or that draw can be
You just call it Eric.
the fact that you announce that his name is Eric, and you just give away one of those sweaters, or you give away a life-size Eric stuffed moose. That would be awesome. And then he has
Actually,
and then he has a name tag that says Eric on it. 'Cause that's his name.
I like the life-size moose.
We gotta
idea.
figure that out somehow. Like a
I
Maybe
wouldn't
a
want to give.
blow-up
I'll be
one.
honest. I wouldn't want to give that away. I'd want to keep that.
It's true.
we can make two.
It's
I'm
true.
not even
two
allowed
Erics.
in our draw right now. I'm kind of choked about that. I want to win a record player.
Can I enter? How can
Yeah. So it's so I guess I should, seeing
Yeah,
as I
thanks-
just
thanks.
plugged the freaking race to 1,000 subs here. There's a video on our YouTube channel that's only a couple of minutes long, and it explains all the rules. But if you watch that video, like and subscribe that video, that clip,
No,
And then-
no. Like the video, subscribe to the channel.
Yes, and then comment your favorite item from the website
That's pretty cool.
in the
That's
comments.
pretty easy.
And that's all you got to do to
I
enter the draw.
don't even want to enter the draw. But I want to
Hey.
no, I want to buy one of those Eric sweaters, and I want to buy some vinyl, man.
Cool.
No, yeah, I think that's sweet. You know how so
I think
it's
it's
not
awesome that you've already called it an Eric sweater.
I was just
um,
thinking the next t-shirts that I add on there, I can call them Eric's t-shirts.
just Eric, just Eric
Eric,
T,
yeah.
Eric
T.
Eric hoodie. You see what I'm fucking saying, boys? Anyway,
Should we? Okay, so you suggested with a C, but should we do it fancy and do it with CK?
no.
Okay.
It's Eric with a C,
No.
eh?
Just Eric with a C.
If I wanted a CK, I would have said CK when I first said C.
Okay, sorry. Jeez.
Come on,
Boy, you
Mark.
get offended easily.
I know. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah.
Go to Q.
So it's it's Joel, not Joel, right?
It's either or. It's actually
Mm.
Joel.
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 Technically, it's Joel. Yeah, it's
That
French.
makes sense with your last name, right? That makes
Yeah.
sense.
There's like even 2 dots. The proper spelling has like the 2 dots on the E of
Oh,
my name,
wow.
like Noel.
Look at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mark, your last name.
Yeah.
Come on, say it.
Poppin.
I love it. I love that last name. When I got your email, I thought that last name was a joke. I wasn't sure.
No,
That's awesome. I love that last name. Is that Dutch?
it is.
There's no Van Dan in front of it.
No. Nope.
I only say that because like my grandpa's from Holland.
Okay.
And Van Dan Elson. And I
Yeah.
thought that they're all Van Dans, but I guess not.
No.
I'm ignorant to it. I'm not smart.
My last name actually translates to dolls.
To what are you
There's-
whatting?
Dolls.
What is it? Like a
Like,
doll?
or puppets. Yeah.
Oh really, eh?
I
how
thought
do
you
you-
were saying dolls, but you were saying dolls.
DOLLS.
Yeah, it
Dolls.
sounded like you were saying DULL.
That's where my accent comes in.
Yeah.
Jay's translates to abandoned gas station.
What?
Doesn't make any sense at all. That was almost as lame as your other joke that we
No,
all
it
forget
was-
from earlier.
Actually, it was lamer.
I do forget the other one.
Yeah.
Remember you
Don't
saying-
blame you.
Bigger.
Wonder
I'm
why
going
that is.
bigger.
Anyway, I forgot what my other question was going to be.
You're welcome.
Was it about Eric?
No.
I
It
had
wasn't.
a question for you about Garth Brooks.
Hmm.
No, let him ask the questions.
Okay.
No, I kind of like this. I kind of like asking you guys questions because you guys are really nice guys and you're fun to talk to.
Awesome. That's
Cool.
good. I appreciate that.
Oh, I
comment.
remember now. I remember. So Joel with the 2 dots above the E said earlier that he doesn't do any research. So he asked us questions that he felt maybe a little embarrassed about asking. That's okay. I don't want you to feel embarrassed. There's not much to know. However, I didn't do any research on you or your guys' show. So what do you normally talk to people about? You just have bands on? Is that your thing? You guys
Yep.
have bands on?
That's exactly
Exactly
what it is.
what we're doing now. That's been our recipe.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
I like
sometimes
it.
it gets into like
Because
I
we
mean,
haven't really
there's-
been talking about music the whole time, right? Like we talk about everything, and I like that. I think it's pretty cool.
Yep.
well, and
Back
that's
and
kind of
forth.
what we want to do. We want it to be like
Our initial thought was like, you guys can give radio interviews and you get the standard questions to all talk about your new album.
Yeah, it's
music,
bullshit.
Whatever. Yeah.
right. That's
Nope.
what we think too.
And it's not like nobody cares, but nobody cares, right?
Nobody
Right.
cares.
So we were like, well, I want to hear more about the people that we invite.
Yeah,
and
like I want to
wanna-
hang out with you guys because
Yeah.
I enjoy your music.
So
I don't-
we kind of went in, thinking that, okay, hypothetically, we meet at a bar or restaurant or whatever, and we sit down, hence the sit down, and we get to know each other.
Yeah, ideally we'd all be
Yeah.
in the same room right now, just shooting the shit, having drinks or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Hanging out.
That Van Dan thing wasn't racist, was it?
No.
No, I kept thinking of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
That's
no.
kind of what I was
That's
saying.
good. I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
I was just thinking about my grandfather. That's all.
So Van Den is
it's
from,
like that. Okay.
yeah, is from the.
So what's your grandpa's last name?
Van Den Elson, which he just goes by Elson now.
So from the Elson.
Yeah, and Elson is a or an else is a tree.
So he's from the trees.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell him that next time I see him, and I'm gonna totally fucking blow his mind because he's not gonna expect me to know that. And so
Do you think he knows that though?
oh yeah, he's from there.
Yeah.
I have an awesome picture of him. So
I got to figure out what an else tree is in English.
An
okay,
elm?
well,
Yeah, maybe.
I have the best picture of my grandfather passed out in a lawn chair beside his lady. And I want to frame it and put it in my house and invite him over and see if he notices it. See if you can see this.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
So
Wait, you got to say that again, Jay, because the camera went away from you. Or Zoom went away from you.
Oh, sorry. So I'll try and can you see the image now? So he's passed out in a lawn chair beside his lady, and we caught that right at a family gathering. I think it's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. And like he just like the way he's sleeping, he's like, fuck this world, right? It's hilarious. It's the funniest thing ever. So
Peace out.
yeah,
Done.
so I want to get that picture blown up. And I'm not like, I don't know how big, not too big, like maybe like, I don't know, 4 feet by 2 or something.
I don't know, like maybe big enough to fit on an album cover.
No, you know what? No, like the picture behind Mark and Joel.
Perfect.
This one?
Like, yeah, like
That's pretty big.
yeah, like I want to. I mean, they're old. They're probably gonna. Yeah, and I told my mom about it. My mom and I were dying. Like my mom's got my sense of humor, so she understood.
What
And,
about
So this
coffee cups?
this
coffee?
is a,
Get the picture on a coffee cup when you're drinking coffee in front of him and see if he'll notice.
The humor is in the picture. It's like the big Kramer, right? It's like the big Kramer. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would 100% have it in the front foyer when they first walk in. I'm not even joking. Like I'm doing this, and it's gonna be hilarious. And I'll probably be just like sobbing in the corner from laughing so hard.
Is he gonna be pissed, or is he gonna laugh?
He'll probably call me a fucking idiot and go back to sleep.
It's awesome. But yeah, you should totally do the picture, like you said, put it on a mug. Find different little places where you can place that picture.
Okay, so the mug's starting to be kind of funny now the more I'm thinking of it. So like I could do that at Christmas time. So I could fuck with him in the summertime. He'd come over, see the picture, get pissed off, and then whatever. You don't say anything, and then like Christmas time comes and he opens. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
You heard it here
picture,
first.
the picture behind us, that's MJK from Tool.
Yep.
And I have a similar one.
I don't think this one's in. in
From Kurt
frame, but
Cobain over there.
smoking a cigarette.
So this is our coworker Jeremy. He is in charge of the Use Records. He is also an artist. This is not his artwork, but he has a buddy that that does this kind of artwork. He takes pictures of artists and then puts them on canvas, and then he sells them.
Oh, nice.
That's a cool idea.
I just bought a sweet painting this week. It might have been a scam, but I had this like painting thing show up on my Instagram feed, so I was like snooping around in it. And do you guys ever see Ghostbusters 2?
That's like one of my favorite movies of all time.
I just
So
bought
we're talking Vigo.
I bought like a big Vigo painting.
Fuck, are you serious? Where did you get it, and where can I get one?
I bought a canvas of it, but I've been fucked on Instagram before, so I'm just kind of sitting and waiting to see if it shows up or
I'm
not.
asking because, dude, like, I would fucking die happy if somebody could come into my house and be like, "What the fuck is that?" And then I
Right?
could turn and look at it and be go,
And
"Is
stare-
Vigo."
Yes, yes, that's exactly what I
You are
want
like
to do.
the buzzing of flies to him.
Yeah. Why am I drippings with goo?
Yes. Oh my god.
Hell yeah,
that's
brother.
so awesome.
I'll tell you what. So what I'll do is when I get it to confirm that it is not a scam.
If you get it.
If I get it, right? Because I paid for it.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll send you the link
Perfect.
to where I purchased it from.
Perfect. I want that in my life.
Hell yeah. I was so excited. I think I'm going to scare so I was trying to explain to my 6-year-old who he was. So now I think I'm going to get to watch Ghostbusters with the little dude, but that's going to scare the crap out of him.
Yeah, I think I remember. We might have done this, we might not have, but I have a vague memory of attempting Ghostbusters with my kid, and you don't think about it because it's funny, right? It's a comedy, but that first scene, like where they're like in that library, and that ghost, she's like shh, and then like they do the second attempt or whatever, and it just turns and like screams at them. Even to this day, like if I'm not ready for it, I'm like, I'm doing this, right?
Man, spoiler alert. No.
Yeah, spoiler alert on a 35-year-old movie.
Right?
I'll have to check the
Oh man, I want
to
to
random guess.
Did the new one ever get released yet? Like the one with Paul Rudd?
They released the trailer for it, but I don't know. They haven't. It hasn't been released.
Right. That one's gonna be sweet, I think.
I'm down for it. Anything that erases the memory of that.
The one with the girls?
Yeah, like, and if I'm not saying anything against like, oh, girls can't be Ghostbusters or anything like that. I mean, when I saw like that it was coming out, I was stoked. Like, Melissa McCarthy's funny. Kristen Wiig is hilarious. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. But I didn't realize they were totally rewriting the whole thing. Like I thought it was like a continuation. Like these are the new Ghostbusters, and there'd be some kind of intertwined story there. And I think that was the plan originally. But I've also been reading over years and years. There's probably like 40 million scripts they scrapped.
Right. Well, the video game, I think it was PlayStation 3 or something.
Yes.
Was technically the third installment, right?
Yes, technically. I do own that. I'm a Ghostbusters whore, by the way. Like I love
Never
Ghostbusters.
seen it.
Any of them?
What? You've never seen a Ghostbusters movie?
I watched the first one a couple of times, but so Joel and I were talking about this right before we went live, and I remember the scenes that he's mentioning. I kind of vaguely remember, but I don't remember the whole movie, watching the whole movie. So
oh man, that is a staple for me. I couldn't even tell you how many times I've seen Ghostbusters. Oh my god, yes. Yes. I want that in my house. Like it'll freak me out and I'll probably never sleep again, but I want it.
I'll say something so the camera is on us so people can actually see what Joel is holding up here.
Yeah.
Check to see if Amy is commenting on the video saying, yeah, he can think that we're going to put that in our house.
Yeah.
Amy is still hooked on Maurice.
She's texting me. She says, we legit were quoting Ghostbusters. Yeah. My wife and I were quoting Ghostbusters 2 earlier tonight. Like she was helping me set up my little area here. Nice. When I say help me, I mean she did the whole thing.
Bill Murray is so fucking funny in that show.
Everybody, what's his name? Damn it, what was it? The guy who plays the funny guy, is it
Dan Aykroyd?
Pinchot? No, the guy who has the funny accent, the curator at the museum there.
I forget what his name was. He was in Ally McBeal though.
Yes.
And
my wife's gonna text it to me any second now because she'll know who he is.
She should put it.
He was even in that was not Dracula Dead and Loving It. I think
he might have been. I don't remember seeing that one, or at least
I think he's like Leslie Nielsen's like.
You guys realize that
Peter McNichol, that's his name.
You guys realize that you're losing half of the chat company that you have here, right?
Nope,
Talking about
not at all.
Ghostbusters?
No, we're talking about Jay and me.
Talking about what?
Jay and me.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what the fuck you guys
Oh, we're
talking
doing
about.
50, yeah.
You
Yes,
guys
but
do
the other
It's cool.
50% is having a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever, go
yes.
fucking watch Ghostbusters. You.
Yeah, and then you'll get it.
It's been
Can't
a while.
believe that.
You know
Well,
what?
I
I
guess
find this is might steer a little away from Ghostbusters, but Bill Murray's humor in Ghostbusters, I would compare that to Dennis Miller's humor in Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood. Do you know that movie?
Yeah, vaguely, not anywhere near
Not as good as Ghostbusters,
but like
that kind of humor, I think is, oh man, I love those two shows.
Bill Murray's humor in that movie, both of those movies, for me, I can safely say, shaped what I thought was going to be funny for like the rest of my days. Like with the exception of like when Jim Carrey started coming into the picture, but it was like Bill Murray. Like if I were ever to get into comedy, like that was where I would draw my influence from
Right.
those two movies, very specifically. I kid not when I say that, and I'm not even one of those like, no, the first one was better than the second one. Like both of them were such huge staples of my childhood, probably even my adulthood. You know, like I was in my 20s when I bought the video game that we're just talking about for PS3.
Yeah, me too, man.
I haven't even
don't
made it
have
all
it
the way
anymore,
through it. I
though.
just had to have it.
I don't have it anymore.
You
I
were in
think
your
I gave it away.
20s when PS3 was out.
Shut up.
No, that's a real question.
Of course, when PS3, yes, I was in my 20s. I was 2006.
29?
No, it was like 24.
I
What?
guess that
24,
makes
25?
sense, eh? I guess that makes
PlayStation
sense.
3 is like 18 years old? No.
Is it that old?
Well, we're on to, yeah, I think so, man, because PS5 just came out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey,
Yeah,
Google,
I'm pretty sure 2006
when
was when
the
it came out.
PlayStation 3 released?
Watch, I'm right.
2006.
Yeah.
Wow.
So while you guys are doing that, like while we're doing asking questions, and I have my buddy here, my bandmate. What is your favorite movie? Since we're rambling on about Ghostbusters,
Oh,
what's
no,
your thing?
not even a question. Hands down, The Crow.
Janelle was
Okay.
wearing that shirt today.
Yeah.
Jay, what's yours, dude?
Oh my god, don't ask me that right now. I don't know.
No?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Pull one out of left field. It doesn't even have to be your favorite. Like you're in something in your top 10. Something that's a big deal.
in my top 10.
Yeah.
Um
Like, you can go back another day and be like, that one's not my favorite.
You know what
but,
I'm
like,
you know what I'm worried about when I
What?
answer this is that
What?
I'm gonna come across as the guy who's like, or the person who says they like this band and this is their favorite song, but it's the one that's on the radio. I don't want to be that guy.
yeah, but who gives a
Like-
shit about that?
You're
You're
right.
Is it like Drumline or something?
Oh no, that's a horrible movie. That was the worst movie I think I've ever seen. I think
I've
I
never
just threw
seen it.
I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Did you watch Whiplash?
No,
No.
I never
Oh.
really saw that.
It's about a drummer.
Um,
too.
And
Jazz
Center
drummer.
Stage was the
I
worst
like
movie ever
I like
made, just saying.
I like the action movies that are like, you know, I like
The Michael Bay movies.
you know what is
Chuck Norris?
No, fuck that guy. That was kind of uncalled for. I would say When Nature Calls is probably in my top 10 for sure. Like,
Dude, that's a
it's-
great choice. I judge you not.
That reminds me of something. I gotta find that picture now.
When Nature Calls?
No, there was a screenshot of someone texting someone saying, "Hey, you're an asshole." The guy goes, "I think you have the wrong number." Wait, isn't this Paul? No, it's Todd. Well, fuck you, Todd. You're probably an asshole too.
Jay's
was,
laughing because that's something he would totally do.
Did you ever see the commercial? Or I don't even know if it was an ad. It was just something funny where there's a guy like on an island and he's like, Tony? he's like yelling at this other guy in an island. He's like, "What's your name?" He's
Yeah.
like, "Ezekiel," and they're like yelling at
Fuck
each other
you,
across the
Ezekiel.
island. Yeah, fuck you, Ezekiel. You know what I did last night? Don't you say it. Don't you say you did my mother. Shit like that. That was funny.
What was that?
You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't seen that, but it's funny.
It's like a
Don't talk to
meme-
strangers. I think
meme
Google or don't
video.
Google that. Put that in YouTube. Don't talk to strangers. I think that'll pop up there.
Oh, okay.
But it's fucking funny, man.
But then, so after that video, people just started randomly doing that in doctor's office and stuff. Hey,
And in
what's-
memes, there.
what's your name?
Yeah. And
What's the first guy's name?
the one guy's name is Tony, and the other guy's
Yeah, yeah.
name is Ezekiel. It's got a pretty interesting ending to that video, but I won't spoiler alert it for you.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that after for sure.
I'm still trying to find that. This scares me because I can't find that link that I bought that painting from.
Doesn't exist anymore.
They packed up and they're like, "Ah, sorry."
They very well might have.
May I ask how much you paid for that?
I was just gonna ask
100
that.
and $153, I think it was.
US?
Yes.
So you don't have it in your possession yet.
Not yet. I ordered it, I want to say about a week and a half ago.
Mm,
Awesome.
And I got like the email
I can't-
confirmation and I printed out the receipt and stuff like that.
No, this
but-
is
that
this
doesn't
is
mean
one of those-
anything if it's not real.
This is
Right?
one of those drop ship programs where you buy from an American site, but that American site just orders it from China and hopefully it arrives at your
yeah, could be. And I knew that going in. And I was like, but if it isn't, it's gonna be so sweet having like a big painting of Vigo. Right? So
It
I
might
took that chance.
happen. It might happen.
And
I will speak on like the amount that you paid for that. I would totally pay that for that painting as well.
So
I hope you
here's
get
the
it.
thing. It was a canvas, right? And there was two different gauges of canvas. There was like the 0.75 gauge and a 1.5, like a thicker one. And the thicker canvas was like $280 or something. So I kind of cheaped out
so
a
you
little bit
cheaped
and
out.
went with the
So
thinner canvas.
basically, you're gonna get a $153 poster in the mail.
I
So
hope not.
This is what you can do. This is what you can do. If it does show up, you can sell that to James for what you pay for it. No, listen, hear me out. And then because you know that it's legit, then you can, upgrade to the next one. Because you know you're gonna get it.
You're right. Get the
Yeah.
thicker canvas.
Yeah.
So you're selling your shitty one to get a better one.
To a guy who already said he'd pay for it and it's recorded. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I found it because I sent it to Joe. Like at LimboCast, I sent him the link. So here, I'm gonna copy it.
Oh, I was just
Joe
about- So you-
texted me a little while ago. He watched part of this.
So you're okay with Joe spending that money and getting hosed, but now you're holding off on sending it to him?
That's not right at all. That's not right at all. Because I told him what I did. I was like, hey man, I think I spent some stupid money, whatever. And he was like, well, on what? So I showed him and he's like, oh, that's sweet. And I was like, well, just hang tight. Here's the link,
Yeah.
but wait until I get mine before you go ahead and purchase anything. Cause it might very well. I thought I got scammed a while back. You ever see the ads for the those portable air conditioners, those little boxes or whatever? Do you ever see those?
mm-hmm.
So that's a bunch of bullshit. So
Yeah, I know.
right. So yeah, I got duped on that and I bought 3 of them.
Wait, hang on. There's a story here. Why are you saying that like that?
Because I have a brain.
Oh, okay. I thought you were scammed too.
Hey, but okay, so check this out. So I bought 3 of those, highly overpriced, right? And
But
like
how many?
3. I thought they were cool, and I was thinking, well, if they're real, like this is pretty awesome. So anyway,
you take risks, man. Like you take.
I like that about
unnecessary
you.
risks.
You don't give a fuck. Like that's
you only
awesome.
live once, man. Who cares?
Right? There you go.
So
Why not?
yeah, I think it was like 2 months went by, and I was like, hey, something's up here because it was supposed to be like, so many business days. So I try emailing them to find out what's up, like to track it. Oh, that was it. I didn't even have like a tracking thing. It gave me one, and then it was like, oh, this doesn't exist. So I tried emailing them, And the
Red
email
flag.
kept coming back and saying like, this doesn't exist. I tried phoning them because there's a phone number and that didn't exist. So I was like, all right, I think like something's up here. So I called the credit card and I'm like, you need to cancel this right away. Like I got duped because I'm an idiot, whatever. So they said they would look into it. And if I was being duped, they would get me my money back. Like that's the bonus benefits of having credit cards, right? So they check into it. I got scammed. They got me my money back. And a week later, 3 of those things showed up at my door. So I was like, sweet.
On.
And
Okay, but now you have to explain what those things actually
what
are.
they actually are. So it is what it is. It's like a little USB fan and you put ice cubes in it and it just kind of blows cold air. That's all it is. It's got a tray in it that you take out, you fill with water. It's got an ice cube tray in it that you fill with water, you freeze it, and then you put the tray back in the unit and it just blows air through the ice cube tray. That's all it is. So I've got 3 of those things.
And you paid how much for each of them?
I paid nothing, technically.
Okay, but you would have paid how much?
I don't want to say, it's embarrassing.
30
No,
bucks each?
say it. Say
No,
it.
it was like $60 a pop
Oh my god, dude.
on sale.
Okay, so
Oh,
my buddy Jeremy just sent me the video. It's called Tony the Dog Talks to Ezekiel the Deer.
See, and that's right. And that's so the audio is from the original video, but there's
Okay.
all types of like different memes like that going out there where like they'll be in a
Yeah.
hallway yelling at each other or something.
I just
but
heard it like, what's your name? Ezekiel. Fuck you, Ezekiel. That's awesome. That's so funny.
we texting.
A buddy from the States here, Jay Fish, shout out. He sent me some music too. I should show you, but that'll be later.
That
He's
almost
asking me
sounded
if I'm-
shady. It was funny. It was like, who you texting? You're like,
Yeah.
buddy.
Let's-
So okay, so I've
he
been.
does, he
Are
does
you
all-
ordering more of those sweet
Yeah.
USB fake AC units again?
That's what
I'm
he's doing.
like, I gotta put my phone down here, but before I do that,
But
I'm going
Joel
to put.
doesn't do multitasking, so
I'm
it's
terrible at
that's
that.
normal the way he reacted.
Okay, the link to where I bought those posters or
Yeah.
whatever I just bought, I put it in your Instagram DM.
Okay. Can you,
In-
you
in the-
send
in
it
the
to the
band.
Twitter? Can you send it to the Twitter one?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I can.
purposely ignore that.
Yeah. Jay runs the Instagram. I run the Twitter.
Okay. I'm not very
I
good
think it's
at
funny every time I say the Twitter.
the Twitter.
Yeah, makes you sound old, like
The
the
Twitter.
Facebook.
Exactly.
I'm so bad
As
at
Jay will tell you, I am old.
I don't remember ever making comments like that.
Bastard.
Joel keeps saying I'm old.
You are old.
I mean,
you're
you kind of
older than
are.
I am.
You're,
Well,
you're
you're
the
older
oldest.
than me.
you're
At least
the
you're the oldest one here.
Yeah.
True.
70s. That's when you were born.
Yeah, 79.
Really?
Just made it. Yeah.
What the ma- oh,
Why
wait.
can't I?
When were you born?
Me?
No,
Oh.
Jay.
87.
Wow.
Oh, my math.
Oh,
sucks.
you're a youngin.
Yeah.
Jay,
I'm 30. Yeah, I'm 33. Yeah.
Nice.
Jay Petrolia and Appetite for Destruction came into this world in the same year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I promise you, when I'm not wearing a hat, I'm for sure like 48.
He's not wrong.
Fuck.
Uh,
I was
That's
gonna.
okay.
Ask, I wanted.
I'm wearing
to
a
ask
hat
you,
right now to cover my gray, so whatever.
Where did you get that hat? Because my son has the same one.
Toys R Us.
Dollarama.
He
Who are
got
we
it-
asking?
You, the Punisher.
Oh,
Daredevil's on the inside.
I don't
right?
know because it was a gift from my son.
Was it? Oh, nice. Well, I got the same one.
It was, it's reversible. It has Daredevil on the inside.
You bet. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I got that same one.
But it was like way too big for him. So he never wore it. And then the one I was wearing, I wore the crap out of it. So I was like, I need something else. And I saw this one sitting there. I'm like, just put it on. I'm like, that looks badass. I tried
Hell yeah.
wearing the Daredevil side and it doesn't, I don't know. I don't like the Daredevil side. It's always
Did
fun.
you watch those shows on Netflix when they were there?
We watched like the first 2 seasons of Daredevil. We might have watched. There was 3, right? 3 seasons of that.
I believe so.
I think we watched 3 seasons of Daredevil. I never got to see Punisher. We watched part of Luke Cage. I lost interest, and we never watched and the first season of Jessica Jones. That was it.
Right. The Daredevil and Punisher were, in my opinion, the better ones. The Jessica Jones and the other ones, I didn't even attempt them.
The Jessica Jones, the first season of Jessica Jones, I thought was okay. I was not into Luke Cage. I have heard nothing but good things about Punisher, and it's one of those things that like on your list that you just some reason never get around to watching. And I was told to not even bother with Iron Fist. So.
Iron Fist, that's the one.
Yeah,
my brain was going like, who's the other one? That's a pussy.
See, now Mark, you lost me because I thought you were on team. We don't watch cartoons and shit. And
it's live action, rated R, fucker.
Actually, you just like that bummed me out because I was about to make a way funnier comment that would still probably not get many laughs.
I'm gonna leave this podcast and I'm gonna go put on Captain America jammy pants. So what up?
Yeah, we're not acting surprised because we're not.
Are you watching? Are you watching WandaVision?
Yes, I'm gonna watch that as soon as this podcast is over.
I don't know what that is. What is that?
There's something you're missing out on.
Yes. Sounds like it.
It's Marvel, dude.
I saw it. It's trending on Twitter today.
Okay, if you're not watching for Marvel, you're watching it for Elizabeth Olsen.
Okay.
Or Paul Bettany.
Sure, but he doesn't have the right parts. Let's call
inclusion, guys. Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I still don't know what that is.
He's a robot, so I can say parts.
Yeah. It's so you obviously all the Marvel movies have like been a big deal for the last 50 million years now, right?
Right.
So now these are TV shows that Disney Plus is coming out with that are connected to all the movies that are also going to be connected to the future movies. And for fans of that, Disney's been smart and they've made it must-see TV or must-watch or whatever because it's all going to be related. And if you don't watch WandaVision, when the next show comes out, which is all about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you're going to be lost. You're not going to know.
You are educated on this stuff, eh?
Dude, I'm a nerd.
That's cool.
I love this stuff. Love it.
Listen, joking aside, I know I tease, but it sounds like a good time. I just don't. For no particular reason. That sounds fun.
Are you guys into sports?
No.
I'll watch like fights and stuff, but that's about it.
I
lost Jay, Mark. I lost Jay, bud. I saw that. I saw the look on your face there.
Not the answer I was looking for, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. My answer to sports is WWE, and that's I know that's not really sports to a lot of people.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Why don't you like boxing or kickboxing or
me?
I like boxing.
I like that stuff.
I'm okay with UFC.
Mark likes like car racing, like F1 races and stuff like that. That's what Mark's into.
See, I like drag racing and stuff. So
that's straight.
No, hold on. Let me finish, dude.
Sorry.
Jesus. No, that was all I had. You're right. No, the F1 stuff is really, really cool. I don't have like cable or something. Like I canceled it. I don't want it, so I don't have a way of watching different sports and stuff. But
F1 TV is $120 a year. Anyway.
Is it what was like an app?
Yeah, and you can play it on your TV and.
Oh yeah. I guess a lot of things are going that way.
Yep.
Me not having cable isn't the reason why I don't watch that stuff. It's just I just don't really watch anything. Is kind of what I'm getting to. I don't really watch TV, but
I'm kind of the same way. I ever since I have a just under full-time job, and I run Funky Moose Records. That kind of eats up all of my time.
What's your full-time job? Can you say?
I'm my official title is web services specialist. which means I help clients with their websites and digital marketing. So
You push
that's
the record button.
Yeah.
yeah, basically
about it.
Ah, full circle.
Yeah. And on that note, we can end. No.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. That's all I had. But that's so that's my regular day job, and then with the record business, I'm up till bedtime. I'm working till bedtime, and then
He takes a lot of phone calls from me.
yeah, that's my other part-time job.
I'm constantly bugging him. I'm not into like texting. I would rather just phone and say what the hell I got to say and then be done with it. I'm in that era, right?
And then-
90s.
And then he
Just
has
make
to
the call, be done with it.
And then he has to call again because he can't search in his text messages to remember what he said because he didn't text it. He said it.
Mm.
Mark's like my side girl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You went for the foreign one too. That's cool.
Right?
The accent and everything.
And
Europe-
blonde,
The European one.
dirty blonde.
Jay and I do that too. Like we FaceTime a lot. It's just easier. You get your thoughts out a lot better that way. I kind of do miss the days of like talking on the phone.
And it's a good way to
I
have a
mean-
coffee with a buddy without
Right.
like
Yeah.
having them come in your house. And now you're like, oh, okay, how long is this fucking guy gonna be here? And then it's like, okay, this
I put on
guy,
pants.
this guy's been here for like an hour now. Like I got things to do. Like I don't know,
I wanna take
watch
my
fucking
pants off.
paint dry and shit. Why is this guy still here?
So that's for Joel. That's not an issue if you either do it on the phone or if he's here. He just doesn't shut up.
And I'll just take my pants off.
And he takes his
There
pants
you
off.
go.
I don't
I
care
see. I see whoever's like set up the camera strategically placed it far back enough that we can see that you guys are wearing pants.
Right.
Was
Yeah,
that by
it's-
design to make sure that Joel wears pants, or
Nah, that wouldn't. It's winter, so it's pretty cold.
How
In
cold is
summer-
it there?
In summertime, the camera comes closer.
Um,
Hmm.
today was actually a nice day.
Yeah, +2.
Was it +2?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
around that today. We
yeah,
were around
yeah.
that today.
Right
I think it
before my
was +2
visa
when I
died,
drove home
+2.
from work.
Yeah, it's not
See,
bad.
we could have said that's why we were late, but
Oh.
that would have been lying though.
Yeah.
You know
So
what?
Mark had
You know
some
what I
car
like?
trouble.
I like if someone's just like, "Yeah, we're late," and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
don't- Like,
be like, why are you
it
late?
was very-
Because
like,
I'm
it
fucking
was nice
slow.
of
That's why.
it was nice of you to message me on Instagram, and I could hear the urgency in your voice, and I was just like, "It's all good, man." It's
Well, I
cool."
was getting because I was getting a little worried because when I say a time, I wouldn't expect any
Okay, so also to get back to that directness, I guess it's like, and maybe that's a culture thing in Holland. When somebody invites you over, and you don't feel like it, you say no, don't feel like it.
really.
And here, you have
I
to
can
dance
only
around, make up
dream.
excuses.
I
and it's
can
like,
I can
oh,
only dream to live in a world like that.
Yeah, but I get so choked at him when he does that because I'll say something like I don't know.
He
So
gets really excited about something.
I get like what do I say? Shoot for the stars and land on the moon, right?
Then you're
But
setting yourself up for failure.
That
be
see, and
okay
that's
with
shit like
failure.
that I don't like him saying. You don't say that because him verbalizing that already set out the possibility
No,
of the
no.
failure out there.
No.
Like, don't talk like that. Just if you want to do something, just go out and do it, man. Right? Like if you want to go, if you want to go play a live show, just go do it. If you build it, they will come.
Oh bullshit!
Right?
If you bail it, they will come. Fuck that.
Right?
No,
I
if
don't
you-
know. That's
if you build it, they'll be like, I'm not fucking going there.
I would love.
see, but that's what I'm talking about. Like, don't say that. Why'd you say that? Because if when the snow is all gone and it's nice outside and you guys are in your driveway playing music, do you not think anybody's not going to stop and watch?
The neighbor's gonna go, shut the fuck up.
I'm not saying like obviously that's not what you're setting out to do. I get that, but I'm using that just as an example to like make a point, right? Like if you go in,
Someone will show up. It'll be bylaw with a fine.
Yeah.
Where's your event permit?
yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and like, yeah, I mean, you got to put yourself out there.
Right. And it's
And
not, yeah, and
but
it's not
like,
like
I
things will
thi-
happen overnight like that. Like there's got to be a goal that's set, right? Now, whether you get there in a year, 5 years, or 20 years, it doesn't fucking matter. The point is having that goal set and working, always moving forward towards it is how I like to think I live my life. There's no like specific set time frame, I guess. So like I might dream big and it might be so unrealistic, but the point being is that I'm always stepping towards that goal. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Well, that's a good way to go. I think it has to be a hybrid about both you're saying. Like it doesn't necessarily need to be like I'm reaching for the stars, and then Mark's saying like, don't be an idiot, get the fuck back down here. Like,
yeah, like you'll never get that. Yeah.
But you need to be reaching for the stars and be okay with the idea that chances are that first trip up to the stars is gonna mess up and you're gonna fall down. And that's where that old saying comes, is it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you just keep getting back up. So as long as the end result or the end goal is always the same, and you don't give up on it, so to speak, then yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm behind you on that.
But I guess I always get the impression that like when you say things like that is that you don't want to, it's like not a TED talk, but like a freaking red.
So are you guys having a marital right now?
Right.
Like, what are we witnessing?
But when you say that, it's like you shutting down the I guess opportunity to even try it. Like you won't even try it. You're like, it's never going to happen, so I'm not even going to try. And it's like, well, you can't think like that. Like you don't know that it's not going to happen. So why? And if you try and fail at it, try it again. Like that's how.
What if he doesn't want to?
No, but I think our goals are the same ish.
Just the path taken to get there is different.
My way of getting to that goal is just more analytical and looking at the numbers,
right,
and working out the numbers. And you are just like, just go for it and see what happens.
That's right. Try again.
And it's not like we don't have the same goal.
That's true.
I just get there differently.
Yeah.
With less failure.
It's all about the journey. It's all about the journey.
I'm still impressed. I'm still impressed that, in Holland, you can just straight up say, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not even joking.
No, I know. I just love how we went back to that.
Because
that might be
because like that's my goal, is to be able to do that without getting, because I do that.
Hey, man, you want to get together for coffee?
Like, no. I have a buddy who's asked me that. My buddy Rick, he was like, hey, you want to come over for a coffee? I'm like, no.
And you want to be able to do that without causing a great offense, right?
Yeah. Like, would you rather me go through the whole, I would, but, I gotta
laundry
bullshit.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go look at some chickens that I might fucking put in my backyard today, and I want to start a chicken coop, and just go off in this, go way out in left field just to get out of going for
Please
coffee.
Tell me that's what you told him.
No, I'm saying like that's like, no, I told you what I told him. I told him, no, don't feel like it. That's typically what I do.
See, I would have rather you have told him that you wanted to make a chicken coop.
See, and I think I'm on your side, man.
Why? That's beating around the bush. Just say what you want.
Oh no, I'm not talking about beating around the bush. I'm just saying because it was
funny.
That's right. That's like, it's almost like it's a slash of sarcasm mixed with like creativity, and it's like,
I will do that
personally.
I will
amusing,
do that.
Right?
I will do that if I'm fucking around and I want to be playful like that. But my point is,
if you're gonna go bullshit, go full bullshit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but normally, I just say no. I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just say no, kids.
My friends know me for that, and they accept it. And if they don't, fuck them.
That's right.
Yeah,
I agree with that too.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
Well,
what were you saying about kids?
My battery's dying here, guys.
You're what? Sorry.
The battery's dying on my laptop here, folks.
Well, you know what? We're gonna end it here right away too. Anyways, my phone is starting to go off here too. It's my curfew.
You know what the best part about this ending conversation is? You guys are doing exactly what I just said that I don't like to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Me,
exactly. My
I was
body's
seconds.
dying.
I was
Fuck that,
seconds
just stop.
away. I was seconds away from saying, "Okay, so I'm gonna go to bed." I think.
Yeah.
And James is like, "Oh, my battery is dying.
battery's
By the
dying.
way, I don't have an AC adapter for it."
And then Joel goes like, "Yeah,
Oh no, I
my-
totally do. I
my-
have an AC adapter for it. Problem
Yeah, we
is
know.
I've stuck myself in a corner where I have no
No, the
outlet.
problem is that it's goddamn midnight, and we want to get the fuck to bed. I know I do.
right.
And then Joel goes like, I have a curfew. No, you don't.
I do. I have a curfew to get home because I have another.
Listen to you
Alright.
stuttering. You're
Bullshit.
fucking it up.
Bullshit. You just want to end it.
Just
do.
say,
Yeah,
just say,
but-
boys.
Yeah.
Honestly, the reason I need to go right now is because I've got a whole bunch of chickens in the back right now,
Yeah.
and they're getting fucking really, really cold. I have to do
There you
something
go.
about it.
Can you guys just give a little plug where people can find like your music and your social media handles?
Yeah, you can find our music all the major streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, YouTube, Deezer, you name it, it's there. Twitter handle, you can find us at 12 Years Band at Twitter. And what's the Instagram, Jay?
And 12, just to clarify, 12 is spelled out 12.
It's spelled out. Yeah. Don't make the mistake of using numbers.
Yeah, the
And-
Instagram I think is 12 Years Today Band.
Yeah, 12 Years Today Band.
Is it band or music? Hang on.
Band.
Right.
Yeah, Instagram's 12 Years Today Band. Twitter is 12 Years Band.
Because we want to not make things confusing for people. I guess.
Yeah, exactly. We wouldn't want to make it all one thing and make it easy.
Thanks for having us on, guys. Thanks for
Yeah.
having us
And
on.
This
It
was
a lot of
awesome.
fun.
This was a
Hey,
blast.
you guys are official part of the group. So anytime you guys want to come on, the door's always open for you guys. If
Yep.
you want to
Cool.
come on and announce
I
anything, man,
really
just hit us up,
appreciate
dude.
that.
You're part
I
of
would
the
definitely be down for doing this again for sure.
Yeah, this is awesome. Appreciate it,
Yeah.
guys. And I'll be in touch too about some vinyl and one of those Eric sweaters.
All right.
Yeah, and I want that
I wanna
link.
see that.
I want
I
a
want to see
Vigo
that
picture.
pull up. I want to
Right
see
on,
that
man.
pull up. Hey, I
For
want to see
sure.
that pull up.
Why?
It will after
He
we
already has
hit
a
our
name now.
1,000 subscribers first. We're
He
gonna
has
deal
a
with
name.
that.
Yeah.
Why?
That's
why
right. Mark
he has a
passes.
name.
Mark passes. That was a test, and Mark passed.
Jay loves the poll.
Down.